What's up, man?
What's going on?
I got my mask on. I keep my mask on, whatever.
I hear you.
Cheers, dude.
I'm gonna shoot some espresso and then I'll put mine on.
Cheers. Maybe I should turn the social distortion off. Sweet.
That's lovely.
Nice.
I like it. Not too high acidity.
Yeah. Good. This is, I'm liking it right now. It's my first espresso in a while. Sometimes I drink so many espressos that they all start to taste bad no matter what I do. So,
you gotta enjoy. I think in
now.
life you have to enjoy the bitter, while you can also enjoy the sweet. You know, it can't all be sweet. You know, it can't all just be an extra large from you know.
If this
Dunkin'
is
Donuts.
if it's a little bitter.
I was trying to make a metaphor, Jordan.
Oh, nice.
Turn off the beautiful social distortion. We can start our own social distortion here with me, Josh.
Here we go.
If it's a little bitter, I did change the recipe, kind of just messing around. I added like 5
Espresso's
seconds
supposed to
out.
be bitter, you know? Right?
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you want to tell us about JB Cuisine?
Yeah, for sure, man.
What's cool about having you on as well, it was just like Jay last time. I barely met you, Josh, so I just met you like a little while ago. You you are here via Nick.
Yeah,
so.
Nikolai. Jason Kindness, one of your past guests, and Nikolai and I
Dude, you think
worked together for a little bit.
You think you could FaceTime Jay while we're here?
Yeah, we could do that. Maybe a little bit later, you know?
That would be funny.
That'd be funny.
Only he can fix up.
I think Jay went to school here, didn't he? Yeah, he went to elementary school here.
And then he dropped out.
He dropped out of elementary school. It's tough. Cool. I have a business called JB Cuisine. We do personal chef services. I service. I mean, really, I'll go as far as necessary. I like to try to keep it within 60 miles. Kind of my specialty is doing, small parties, like,
Cool.
people want, especially during this time when everyone is stuck in their house. So what we do is we do small parties, and they can be as elegant or as casual as people want.
Cool.
And I'll customize menus to these kinds of things.
Cool.
And yeah, that's kind of what we do. I have a lot of different menus on my website, www.jbcuisine.com.
Sweet.
All kinds of
Whoop, whoop.
yeah, nice little trucker hat there. Yeah, it's been kind of crazy this year. I started it in December. Well, I left my previous job, which was I was the chef de cuisine at Gracie's in Providence.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you know Neil by any chance from around town?
Neil?
I don't know Neil's last name, but
Oh yeah, Neil Soa.
yeah.
Yeah, Neil Soa.
I don't know if
Shout
you
out
like
to Neil Soa.
Hell yeah, dude. He's awesome.
He is awesome. He's doing some pretty cool stuff. I think he's working with Derek over at White Horse Tavern.
Oh, is he? Cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to eat there sometime. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. It's funny. We've done a lot of cool stuff all over the state. I did some with your pal Nikolai over here.
Sweet.
We did, what was that, like a month or so ago?
That's right.
Yeah, we did. I got these people who were regulars of mine from Gracie's. They'd been going there for years, since before I worked there. And, I had the chef, Matt Varga. Shout out to Matt Varga. He's still the executive chef there. Reached out to me and said, hey, we've got this couple who want to do some upscale events at their house, and they want a personal chef to come in and do those.
What's it like cooking that?
It's pretty awesome.
Is it
to be honest with
nerve-wracking?
you, it's not really. It's really not. A lot of professional chefs are so used to that. We basically just manage these problems every day.
Yeah.
managing problems. You're from the hospitality industry.
Yeah,
so,
I've worked.
So
I've
you
been
know,
a
so
line
just,
cook and such.
Yeah. I've
Food
been.
truck.
That's what I've been doing for the last 15 years.
Oh,
It's just until this year that I've got.
it's hard, man. It's hard. Oh my god.
But anyways, going back, we did that party. It was awesome, and then he gave me a huge budget to do. They're in East Greenwich. Some
Sweet.
awesome people. Michael Calore, the Calores, gave me a nice budget to do some really beautiful stuff.
Sweet.
And I think they were enjoying it as much as I was, like just being able to do your craft, and that you take away the monotony of the grind, like when you go to work and you're a line cook, you come in every day, you set up your station, you go through, you make sure you have everything. If you don't have something, you cry to the chef, and then he yells at you and then goes and gets it anyways. But but so like it's kind of cool to lose that monotony and really focus on the things that I love, which
sounds cool.
Are food in general. But
do they give you like a little liberties, or do you kind of talk over a menu?
So I have a lot of sample menus on my website that people can check out, and you find something there. It kind of goes through everything. I've got a clam boil one, lobster. We've got a fried chicken one. We do tasting menus, which is really kind of the fun part. Nikolai's been with me for a couple of those, I think. And, it's just, it's a lot of fun. So I feel like this is a way for people to still be able to experience this kind of dining during COVID,
Yeah, cool. That is
so
cool.
it's been working out really well for us this year. So lucky in that sense. A lot of people are struggling out there. I've got so many restaurant tour friends that are just, dealt with so many other issues, and now they have to deal with this. It's crazy.
You've cooked in Newport forever?
Yeah. So we can go back a little bit. I was
stuff.
I went to Johnson and Wales for culinary arts right out of high school. When I was there, it was kind of apparent to me that I wanted to be going to classes. I wanted to be the one that knew what was going on. So the way to do that was to get a job. I needed to prove to myself that I was serious about this craft, and not just some kid pretending, while using his parents' money,
You get to a real kitchen, you're like,
yeah.
where the fuck am
I couldn't get a job in Providence. I gave everyone resumes. My resume was dog shit. Can I swear on here? My resume was
yeah,
nothing.
you can swear.
My resume was nothing. I was out of high school.
I almost feel like
I had a job as a dishwasher.
If you went to school and you're like, see, I went to school, and they're like, you went to school, fuck that. Next guy.
Next guy.
I used to mop floors. You're
But
hired.
But this was also like 6 months into going to school, so it was like I really had nothing. So, anyways, I ended up going in ACF, the American Culinary Federation.
Cool.
Getting involved with them. Chef Ray McHugh is the president of it now at Johnson & Wales. They do really cool stuff. And they roped me in one weekend. I wasn't doing anything, and they brought me down to Newport, and we did the ACF lobster boil at the lobster bake at the Hyatt. Well, it was the Hyatt then. Now it's Gurney's.
Yep.
So I did that, and I met the chef and got to hang out with some of the people. I met Slim Jim, James Colleran. I think James the chef at. He's been a chef around Newport for a long time.
Oh, cool.
Castle Hill. I think now he's at Ocean Cliff.
Where did you grow up? You went to school in Providence. But...
I went to college in Providence. I grew up in upstate New York.
Oh, okay.
Spent some time in New York City too, but upstate New York, Elmira, New York.
Nice.
Came here for college. Yeah, I was working in Newport at. So, anyways, I got that job at the Hyatt.
Yep.
As the cafeteria attendant.
Sweet.
That was like, I said, you know what? I want like a ground level job, So I want to learn, and then I want to move my way up. So, yeah, I started working there as the cafeteria attendant with Nettleford Jones, who's still working there now. He's Jamaican, awesome Jamaican guy. Now it's called Gurney's, but he still runs the cafeteria over there.
Oh,
anyways, so I was the cafeteria attendant for a while, and then, kind of like happens in every restaurant, someone got sick and didn't show up, and they're like, hey, you, come up here and work the line. So I started doing that, and I got thrown into the saute station there, which was kind of the busiest station. It was also kind of the station that kind of managed the rest of the line. I think you find kind of in kitchens like that, there's always kind of like one of the cooks has a station that tends to have a little bit more responsibility.
Yep.
As far as like calling shots and things like that.
I've never worked. All the places I ever worked were like me and another guy, or just me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like.
I've worked in some they call it the brigade, like the French call it that, where it's like a lot of people. So,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I was at the Hyatt for 2 years. I worked every station, and then I asked to be made. I was a sophomore in college now. So I was like, you know what? I want to be a sous chef or I forget what they called it, something else, like a supervisor. I was like, I went to the chef and I was like, I want to be a supervisor. He's like, you're 19 years old. It's like, you know, you can't, we've got a lot of people that have been here longer than you. And I was like, okay.
What was the food like?
It was, we had a restaurant there that was kind of just like a fine dining restaurant. It was called the Windward, Windward Restaurant.
Sweet.
So I worked in the a la carte kitchen, which did, we did some nice stuff. We also handled all of the room service. And then they had what was called the CC kitchen, which is like the convention center. So they do, the Hyatt, or now Gurney's, has a huge amount of space where they can do giant parties.
Yeah.
Probably useless right now, but
Yeah.
So you could also work over there, but I chose to be in the a la carte kitchen. It was a little bit more gritty for me. I liked that.
Sick.
So yeah, I mean, after that, he said no. He said no, I'm not going to give you that promotion. So I kind of decided I wanted to move along. So I started looking around, and one of my professors told me, he said, if you're in Newport, he's like, you want to work with the best, you gotta talk to Albert Bouchard.
Oh,
so
cool.
I did. I went in one day I drove from Providence in my 1994 Isuzu Rodeo, 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
Not all-wheel drive. It's not that important to the story, but it was pretty cool. So I drove down just to drop off my resume. I didn't have very much money, so a trip like that, $2 each way on the. I didn't have Easy Pass yet, so it was probably $4.
Yep.
Anyway, so I went to go drop off my resume at Bouchard's, and I walk in. I go in, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, hey, is the I'd like to speak with the chef. So I go in there, and someone points me in. It's Donna Joe. I don't know if you ever met Donna Joe. So one of the employees walks me to the back, and I go in the back, and I'm looking around in the kitchen. Very small kitchen. It's like an L with a dishwashing station kind of at the corner of the L. Hot line, big enough for about 3 people, 3 small
Sweet.
people. And then cold side, like this.
Yep.
And then there's a door that goes outside to the walk-in. And then there's the dishwashing station. So I walk in, there's nobody there. It was probably maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on like a Sunday or something like that. So I go in, and I walk over, and I see someone working on installing a new dishwasher. So I reached down. He was in a dishwasher's shirt, those ones with the snaps.
Yep.
Those are the best ones, too. Anyways, laying down, shit all over him, and I'm like, hey, I'd like to speak with the chef. I'm here because I'd like to apply for a job. So he stands up and wipes off his hands and shakes my hand and says, I'm Albert. I'm the chef owner here.
Fucking A.
And when I saw that, I was like, you know what?
Hell yeah.
I was like, I want to work here. You got this guy that owns this
What year was that?
beautiful restaurant, hotel, on his back, disgusting grease all over his face and his hands.
Oh, dude.
You know what? You want to see where he's living now? Pull up a picture. No, I'm just kidding. He has a beautiful boat. Sarah and Albert live on it.
Sick.
They deserve it.
How long's Bouchard's been there?
1995.
And what year was?
5 years.
25 years.
What year was that when you were introduced?
So I was there 2007 until I was off and on. I kind of I worked there for about 4 years, so like
Cool.
2.5 years in college, and then another 1.5 years after that.
Cool.
While I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life.
That's when you met these guys?
No. So
Later on, right?
yeah, we'll get there. So,
Okay.
No, so I decided, you know, I wanted to go to New York City. So that was kind of
Cool.
what a lot of young chefs, they want to go to a big city, or you know,
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah,
fuck with the
artists,
best.
musicians, yeah, dude.
You know, well, exactly. It's like that's the thing, kind of about New York, and I don't need to hype up New York any more than it is.
Yeah.
But I, you know, whatever you're interested in and passionate about, someone is doing it there, and they're doing it better than you.
Oh, dude.
Way better. Way
And
better.
there's 100 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of like, you know, if you Jay-Z, you know, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
Is that or is that Frank Sinatra first? Anyways, but yeah, so I decided to move to New York. I staged at a bunch of restaurants, which is what they call it when you just do like
Hanging
a
out.
working interview. You don't get paid for it.
When you're a slave for
Basically a slave for. But you know what? It's like if you actually can see like the old school beauty in it, you know, like the kind of small mouth, big eyes.
Dude, I'd
you
love
know,
to sage at
head
some
down
coffee
and
shops.
pay attention. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you're just trying to like absorb as much as you can, so that one day when you have to tell someone what to do, you can think back and be like, you know what, this guy was a pro, and this is how he told me to do it. So, yeah. So I staged at a bunch of places. Le Bernardin was one of mine. That's 3 Michelin star in New York. Eric Ripert is the chef of that.
Whoa.
And then I staged there 4 times. Albert let me go on. They only do stages on Saturday nights. So I used to leave Bouchard's for Saturday nights to go there. But Albert understood, because it's like, you know, it's one of the best restaurants in the country. So I did that a few times. That was super cool. But then I staged at a few other places. Colicchio and Sons. That's one of Thomas Colicchio's restaurants. You know, Tom Colicchio
I
is
don't.
from Top Chef, the bald guy. You know.
Okay, I don't
That's
know.
okay. Then where else? I did Picheline, which is a really cool. Picheline is
Sweet.
they were 2 Michelin stars.
You know
That's
these places,
Terrence
man?
Brennan's restaurant. And then I staged at 11 Madison Park. That was a good one. They're 3 Michelin stars. Daniel Hume, you should follow him on Instagram. Does some awesome stuff. They have a 3 Michelin star restaurant. They're like rated #1 in the world, and he turned his entire restaurant into like a soup kitchen. They're providing meals for like thousands of people. It's pretty amazing. There's some really cool stuff that chefs are doing now.
Sick.
You know, like it's just cool that you can use your skills to do that much good. Like Jose Andres. You follow Jose Andres at all?
I don't know if Jose Andres owned the place I went to. I went to this.
Most of his restaurants are in DC.
Yeah, I went to a place in D.C.
Yeah.
It starts with a Z. Is I think it was Greek.
Most of them are Spanish. So he's Spanish. He's from Spain.
Yeah.
But he's amazing.
Middle
This guy
Eastern
is like
food.
this guy. He goes into Puerto Rico after a hurricane, and he comes in on a helicopter from the military. He'll come in with like a staff, and he'll have a meeting with like the town people, and he's like, all right, so my responsibility is not anything other than feeding people, which is kind of beautiful, isn't it? It's like he's not there to like carry out people or, you know, serve medical purposes. He's there to just feed people, which is kind of beautiful, because natural disasters never have that, you know? Imagine just being a part of a natural disaster. You've lost everything, and then someone hands you
Still got to eat that day.
someone hands you a sandwich,
Oh, the
a
next
hot
day.
sandwich,
Yeah.
you know, and a Coke. It's like, here you go.
Gee.
It's like, oh man, it's huge.
The little things.
Insane.
It's not a little thing, but
But yeah, we'll get back, I guess. So yeah, so after staging at a bunch of places, I ended up staging at this restaurant called Del Posto, which was owned by Mario Batali and Lydia and the Bastianich group. Now it's just Bastianich. But I worked there for 4 years. I staged there. I met everyone, met the chefs, and it just seemed like a machine. So to give you an example, Del Posto's a 1-star Michelin, but it functions like people go into work like it's a 3-star Michelin. you go into work like you're working in the best restaurant in the world. You're just like, everyone comes into work that way.
What does it mean to be a Michelin?
Intensity.
A Michelin.
I know I keep throwing that around, and so the Michelin Guide was from the tires originally in France. They would give you stars in France based on how far you should travel to go to these places. Like, it's basically, people were getting their cars serviced by Michelin, and they would have these guides. They would say, I forget what the exact phrases are, but it's like worth a trip for 1, and then 2 stars like worth a special trip, and then for 3 stars it's like worth a special.
The specialist.
Worth a route. Yeah, exactly. Worth international travel. Yeah. I've been to a couple of 3-star Michelin restaurants not in France, in Spain. In Spain we went to Arzac, which is 3 Michelin stars.
Huh.
Just to be honest, I feel like, when I was younger, a lot of that stuff is really important because you want to hone your craft. But now, to be honest, if someone gives me a ham sandwich on like beautiful artisan bread and like a nice espresso, that stuff makes me just as happy.
Hell yeah.
But so I mean, Del Posto's awesome. It's so chef. It was Mark Ladner who hired me. So Mark is awesome. I'm not sure exactly what Mark's doing right now. Shout out to Mark Ladner, very talented chef. He won a James Beard Award for Best Chef in New York City. Do you know about the James Beard
A little
Foundation?
bit. A little
So
bit.
So James Beard, it's kind of like the Grammys for chefs in the United States. Also, the James Beard House. James Beard was a famous food critic who lived in New York City. I'm not sure the exact era, but a long time ago. I think he died in the 80s or 90s. But he was a famous food critic, and they have the James Beard House where they do. It's kind of like for like a serious chef. If you get to go and cook at the James Beard House, they do dinners for like 80 to 90 people. If you get to go and cook there, it's kind of like a very important thing.
Once in a career kind of opportunity.
Yeah, I did a dinner there. I've cooked there, and I also got to eat there, which was kind of cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was cool stuff. I went there when Jake Rojas did his dinner there. I don't know if you know Jake. Jake owns Tallulah Taqueria in Providence, and he used to own Tallulah's on Thames.
Right, I've never been, but I've
heard
of it. First time I heard about James Beard, I think the first time I heard about James Beard Awards, someone was telling me who worked at Barcino, he's like, dude, she was nominated for a James Beard Award. And I was like,
you're like, whatever.
All right. And he's like, no, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool.
It is. I mean, I feel like a lot of American cooks and chefs think of that a little bit more than the Michelin stars. But actually, Japan has the most Michelin stars in the world, which is funny. Actually, it's not funny. Congratulations. I love Japanese cuisine. But it's funny that it's a French thing and the Japanese kind of...
It's kind of part of the culture to take your craft very seriously over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coffee's very serious over there.
Yeah, they do a good job with coffee. You ever been to Japan?
No.
It's awesome. I did a not study abroad. I was an exchange student in high school.
Cool.
In Bato Machi, Japan.
Whoa.
Yeah, like 2 hours north of Tokyo.
Cool, man.
Yeah, Japan's cool.
I have some Navy friends they're making a move there now.
Yeah.
And I have some people who told me, like, she's like, you love the convenience stores there. I'm like, why would I love the convenience stores? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, in like a lot of Asia, they have awesome convenience stores. Like the prepared foods section of a good convenience store is like, there's like 40 different kinds of sandwiches with the crust cut off that were made that day in some factory by elves. And they're actually delicious. There's like egg salad sandwiches. People go crazy over them.
So Newport actually has some pretty awesome restaurants, no? What do you think?
Yeah, I love Newport, and I do think that the restaurant industry will definitely come back from this. I think that this year coming is going to be really good. I kind of say that because I have to, because it just has to be. But I truly believe that too, especially
I
for
think so,
restaurants
too.
and for my business too. We've got to do something because people can't go on like this for years at a time.
No, they
It's just
want to
not.
get out.
They're
dying to get out.
Systems are going to start breaking down. You gotta.
Yeah, it sucks. COVID sucks. So what did I hear last night? Every pandemic has about like an 18-month lifespan. So that would take us to like next June, something like that, a little bit earlier. But
I guess we're hoping that there's
like historically.
I guess we're hoping that there's some sort of a way that we'll still be able to function, because you just keeping. I mean, especially people that have like serious like mental disabilities. I just can't. I mean, it's just like being locked up and alone for this
crazy
much time.
year for them.
It's yeah. I mean, for everyone. It's just,
Yeah.
There can't be anyone that's not affected. But anyways, let's talk about something cooler. Talk about food.
You have any gigs coming up at JB Cuisine?
I do. Most of them are smaller. I have a lot of like parties of 4, parties of 6 that are spread out. We have a lot of fun with it. I do some drop off stuff too. Where,
cool.
I have a little bit different minimums, so it's kind of tough. You can only charge so much for takeout, so
Yeah.
I have to add a little bit of class to it. Like always, right, Nikolai? Shaving fresh white truffles. $200, $150 an ounce.
Shaving it like it's nothing.
Shaving them.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Have you ever had truffles before?
Recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they fresh? Were they the ones that I gave to Nikolai?
He gave me a piece.
Yeah.
I put in some olive oil.
Yeah. That's cool. That's a good thing to do with if you have like I have a jar of olive oil at home that, or it's nice if you do it with a flavorless oil like grapeseed or
Oh, nice.
even
really light.
Yeah,
really
something
light
like
oil.
so that because you take if you take an extra virgin olive oil, it's spicy and it's green and grassy and beautiful.
What does a white truffle taste like?
So for me, it's really kind of like it's umami or that that
Okay.
that
cool.
intense mushroom cheesy flavor.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I really only get excited about the white truffles.
Really?
Black truffles don't really do much for me. They're a little bit too much like
Are they the
a
cheaper
basement.
ones? The black truffles are cheaper ones?
What's that?
Black truffle is a cheaper one?
They are usually significantly cheaper. Yeah. You're talking 3 to 5 times more for white truffles.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I have a truffle supplier in Italy, but I also go through D'Artagnan, which is a local purveyor. Well, local, they're Hudson Valley.
When you see truffle fries are made like usual, and they just put truffle oil on them at the end.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of
like
toss them.
I like eating truffle fries, But most of that truffle oil isn't even really made from truffles. It's like a synthetic situation. What I used to do, we had truffle fries at Revolving Door where I was the chef, and I used to take black truffles, like scrap pieces, and I'd chop them up and mix them in with salt, and then I would garnish them with salt. So at least I knew in my heart that they were eating truffles when they got truffle fries. I think I did that once.
Truffle flavored.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways,
We
this is nice, by the way.
Oh, dude,
I
espresso
like
tonic.
I like the espresso. I like the tonic.
Spro
Light. Yeah. Nice.
He gave me the truffle and the oil, and I had it a couple of ways, and then maybe like a
we
week or two
drinking
passed.
this or what?
Dude, have at it, man. You got some cups? You going? This is for you. I might have a beer over there. Let me pour it for you.
Yeah,
man.
you're the host.
Let me host you, man. I appreciate
Sweet,
you
man.
taking the time and coming down here.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, give me.
It only costs them $35 an hour.
Oh, Jesus
No,
Christ.
careful. Elena might be watching this. I don't pay her $35 an hour.
I can bleep it. It's okay.
Thank you, Elena, for watching my kids.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.
To Mark Lesnar.
To who?
Oh man.
Brock Lesnar? Cheers to Brock Lesnar.
Shout out to Brock.
So what else? What else? I was talk about more about the in New York. So I was at Del Posto. That was the Italian restaurant that I was working at in New York. They had 1 Michelin star.
Del Posto.
Actually, now Chef Melissa is the chef and partner of it. The only female chef with 5 stars from the New York Times, I believe. And
New York Times is serious in the culinary world, no?
yeah,
Ish?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. You're my culinary specialist.
Am I? Yeah.
Yeah, Nick too. Nick every day is my culinary specialist.
Yeah. Nick's fucked around with some high rollers in the culinary world.
Del Pozo?
Posto.
Oh, Del
Of the
Pozo
place.
makes dresses, so
Of the place.
that's not it.
Yeah, so we did some cool stuff there. I spent almost 4 years there working, doing all kinds of stuff, making, working a lot of the stations, some front of house, some shenanigans.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
There we go.
Oh yeah,
This
There
is
you go.
them
yeah.
There she is.
Chef Melissa,
right here.
she's a rock star now.
Oops.
Up there, yeah.
Sweet. This is a rock star right here.
Yeah.
Sick.
She
dude.
came. Were you there when she came and ate at Revolving Door?
I think so. Yeah. I also met Mark at that Johnson and Wells event.
Oh yeah, that's funny. That you've been a part of that with me, Nikolai.
He made sandwiches.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yo, take it easy. Mark Wagner's a shit.
No, that was awesome.
Terracotta del Impruneta. Am I reading that right?
I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've worked there.
Cannellini. Cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, this is basically. I mean, they make really nice Italian inspired of the place food. Del Posto means of the place. So this is, looking at like the ingredients of the Hudson Valley in New York City through the lens of fine dining Italian. So, and they did a beautiful job of that. I was really privileged to work there. So
Oh,
I got
cool.
to do a lot of cool stuff. I got to work a lot of the stations. The pasta station was pretty awesome. Del Posto had I think we had like six or seven fresh pastas on the menu that were made daily, and we also did risotto to order, which is pretty cool. Very few restaurants do risotto to order.
Right.
So usually, if
It's
you work in
tricky.
a restaurant, and you're cooking risotto, usually you par cook it. So they cook it like halfway through, and then you put it in a container, and you got it under your station, and you
How
scoop
long-
a little bit.
How
But
long does it take to make?
23 minutes.
So you make risotto to order. It takes 23 minutes.
Right. So what they would usually do is most people were eating tasting menus there. So you would have like a 4th course risotto.
Okay.
So when they order it in, you would know that you had about 23 minutes. So you would start it. So whoever's expediting, whoever's calling out the tickets, would tell you, say, start for risotto. So
Risotto's
start
tricky.
for
Something with the
risotto.
mixing, right?
Oh yeah.
Is it a pasta or is it
No,
a
so
grain?
it's a rice. It's a arborio, or Del Posto you use Volone Nano rice.
Okay, cool.
So it's
wow,
a
cool. Okay.
short grain rice from Italy
Sweet.
that has a beautiful starch content when you mix it. So yeah, basically you need to have some kind of you start in a pan and you sweat down some shallots or onions, small dice. Cook it until they're translucent. Then you're adding in olive oil, a good amount of olive oil, and then you add some. Then you add your rice, depending on how many people you're doing it for. You would add, I forget what we did, an ounce per person or something like that, per tasting, and then so you toast your grains of rice in that oil onion mixture,
Yep.
and then you're going to be deglazing or adding some prosecco or some kind of nice white wine that you'd like to use, maybe something that you're going to be eating or drinking later.
And
I usually do prosecco because we do it. That's what they use at Del Posto, and that's.
Cooking.
I also like drinking sparkling wine.
cooking wine is a joke, right? You want to use good wine for good food.
Yeah.
Cooking wine's
Don't
basically
buy
garbage.
that stuff that's on the Holland House. That's on the grocery store shelves.
They say that the wine you should cook with, you should also.
Yeah, you should also want to drink it.
There's one good one for $10. Foxhorn.
Oh yeah, I know.
$10,
Yeah.
big bottle, and it's drinkable too.
Sweet.
So anyways, you've got that, and then once you've toasted your rice, you're deglazing or adding this white wine. You let the alcohol cook out until it comes down to sec or dry, and then you're gonna start adding liquids. It depends on what kind of risotto you want to make. You could use chicken stock, you could use lobster stock, so you could use clam broth
Lobster
if you
stock.
wanted.
How do you get the stock from a lobster?
Well, you make it. So when you buy a bunch of lobsters,
Take all the shells and boil them?
you're going to make. You ever make a lobster roll? You ever break down a lobster?
No.
No. You got to get some lobsters around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, after you're done cleaning a lobster, you've got the head or the body. You got the shells from everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
I like to do is I take that and I'll roast that on a medium heat, like 350, 375, until they're dry. You should be able to break them with your hands.
Brittle.
And you want to, actually, after you're done. So you take those out. Maybe if you want to get freaky, halfway through, you smear some tomato paste on those. Put them back in.
That would make some great fertilizer for my old
marijuana
plants.
They use lobster compost. That's what I put in my garden. Lobster
some
compost.
chitin. Add some
lobster
chitin
or shrimp is really great. All those shellfish. I put whenever I get clams at my house or oysters, I smash them up and put them in my compost.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Chitin.
What's that?
Chitin. Or chitin? Or I don't know.
What's that?
CHITIN.
Chitin? Is that what the kids are doing these days?
Yeah, that's a total, yeah. It's a fibrous substance consisting of polysaccharides and forming major constituents in the exoskeleton of arthropods. It will,
What does that mean in English?
in insects, it functions as a scaffold material. Chitin, I think it chops up their bodies. Dude, fucking bomb. Have you had stuff from Need before?
Yeah.
Does he look like someone?
Jeez.
Need is awesome.
Fuck. Yeah, that stuff's good. How do you get it here?
They bring it.
Do they really?
Yeah.
And it's produced they have 2 places in Providence, I think, right?
I think they have 3 total. I think one's in East Greenwich, right?
I don't know. They're great people though. We when I was at Gracie's, we did some events with them. The chefs, the head bakers and things like that. We would do, also, we used to do this thing for like I forgot, but I ended up going there because I wanted to bring coffees and donuts for the guys. Like when I was working at Gracie's, we had between savory and pastry, there's probably like 7-8 people working in the kitchen. So it's pretty big, And then there's also a lot of front of house, probably 20 people in front of house. So I remember going there to get some. I was like, I'm gonna be a good boss today, Not boss, but I'm gonna be good to the guys today. So I go, I go and I'm like, oh, let me get one of those. I get like 2 dozen donuts and like 8 iced coffees. It was like $130 or something like that.
Yeah.
That was okay. I was the hero for 2 hours.
There's donuts you can buy.
Dude, really, I would
say they're pretty great.
I was nervous to carry them here because they're definitely like on the higher end. They fucking sell like crazy, dude. Everybody loves them. So
that's awesome. That's
come
awesome.
forward.
I'm glad
I would have them every day I could.
It's great to be able to support something local too. I feel like it's so hard for people to really support these local businesses. You need to really go out of your way.
I'm gonna go get some stuff for us to try. You guys continue on. I'm gonna get something I want to share with you.
Ramble on.
It's all good.
What are you doing, macaroons?
Yeah, macarons.
Oh, nice. Are those also from them?
This is from Chelsea Rose.
Oh yeah.
Chelsea Rose. She makes amazing.
You should try the ones from Ellie's. That's also owned by Gracie's. Ellie's is they make some really nice macarons.
What is Ellie's?
Ellie's is the bakery owned by Gracie's.
In Providence?
Yeah.
See, I'm not really familiar with Providence.
Yeah.
Who's it owned by?
What's that?
Ellie's.
It's in Providence. Matt Varga is the chef. Ellen Slattery is the owner.
Matt Varga, that's very familiar. Matt Varga.
Yeah. Matt's the chef of Gracie's and Ellie's.
How do I know Matt?
I don't know. Did you ever come on an event with me with him? I don't think so.
You like macarons?
They tend to be a little sweet for me, but I'll fuck with macarons once in a while.
Sweet, dude.
Those are very tricky to make too.
Yeah.
It's about the humidity. A lot about the humidity and temperature.
It's definitely different.
Yeah, we used to do this as the with the check. When we give the check at Gracie's, they would get a macaron of the day. They would change them.
Oh, wow. Were you making them there, too?
Yeah. They're making them at Ellie's, which...
Oh, right. Okay, I get it.
Ellie's is their bakery.
Sweet.
Yeah.
They're tricky to make.
Yeah.
You need to have a separate person if you're going to make them yourself.
Or you just have to have a system. You know, you have to be organized. It's definitely not easy. Oh man, we got more coffee
With your tequila.
Jesus. Is this more coffee?
Coffee, tequila,
Oh, you
coffee,
just-
water, tequila.
The coffee left over from the day.
This
you
is,
Which
yeah.
one is this one?
A real boss drinks the leftovers from the day.
Waste not.
Yeah, dude.
You ever watch Albert drink wine at the end of the night? He'll drink everything that's open. You know, that's good. That's your bottom line. What are you gonna open another bottle because it's something you want to try?
You can't. I'm sure throwing stuff down the drain would literally.
Oh my God, this is a lot of coffee and alcohol.
Good, dude. That's what it's
All
all
right.
about. We're having fun.
Well, I'll be a little bit late, so take it easy.
Shout out to Nancy.
Nancy's working. Anyways.
Nancy's the wife?
Yeah, my wife Nancy is awesome. She's
Wow.
pretty
Good for you, man.
awesome.
Scoring some points. See that?
She's the best.
You didn't come here for nothing. You scored some points
I tell her
right off the
often
bat.
she's the best wife I've ever had.
Wow.
You know?
Nice, dude. Nice.
He's only had 3.
Nah. But no, Nancy's great. Nancy and I actually met at Del Posto.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I mean, I'd been working there for a few years, and this beautiful Mexican woman started working there in front of house. She was just like very entry level, polishing glasses and things like that, and we just kind of started talking.
you scored a chick from the front of
one
the
night.
house?
Yeah, I did. That's
Wow,
the
man.
only way, because they usually feel bad for us cooks. That's the only
Must have been
women
a
that
Christmas
you're gonna
party.
meet, or men that you're gonna meet. If you're spending all of your waking hours in one place. But so Nancy was working front of house there, and she really wasn't liking the hour. We started kind of dating, just we went out for drinks, and I asked her if I could kiss her, and she didn't
Wow.
really speak English that well, and I did it anyways. And she told me this like years later. She didn't understand what I was saying. Can I kiss you?
Dude.
Did you speak any Spanish?
I spoke a little bit of Spanish. It was mostly just like dishwasher Spanish. Just now I'm fully fluent.
Dude,
I
anytime
can keep a conversation.
Anytime I would compliment anyone in the kitchen, I'd be like, "Dude, you're doing a great job today, man. This shit tastes awesome." This guy Oogie would go, "Besalo, man, besalo." It's a kiss, right?
Besalo.
Tell me to kiss the other guy. Oh, fuck you. Oogie.
Anyways,
Shout out to Oogie, right? I like the shout out thing. This is fun.
yeah, it's fun.
Fucking Oogie, man. We gotta get
So,
Oogie on there.
Yeah, so I mean, we started kind of dating a little bit after that, and she didn't really like the hours she was working, so which was very late, especially the front of house in New York City too. You got people that come in at 11 o'clock and want a tasting menu. It's like they're not leaving there. The servers aren't leaving until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's it's just a very intense service. They won also, so Del Posto won a James Beard. We won multiple James Beard awards while I was there, and they won Best Service USA, which is a big deal. And they deserve it totally. The service is impeccable there, amazing. I was actually lucky. I worked 6 months of front of house there.
There's a lot of different James Beard awards.
So they do, they have different categories. So it's like Best Chef New York City, Best Chef Southeast, or like Southwest, or Northeast. It's all based on like the United States, kind of.
What's your favorite spot in Newport right now? Is that putting
Favorite
you on the
spot
spot?
in Newport. To
That's
be
putting you
honest,
on the
I don't
spot.
really go out that much.
Part of a
My
community.
wife Nancy's been working at Gusto, which is in the Hammett's Wharf Hotel.
Oh, right. Oh,
Chef Kevin O'Donnell, shout out to Kevin O'Donnell
Someone
and the
else
staff
told me
over
they
there
worked there,
at Gusto. They're doing a good job. I mean, they're doing a great job because I know they have some sick pasta.
Oh, I've heard a lot of good things about that place, man.
Yeah.
I heard the pasta's on point. That's what somebody told me the other day.
Yeah, Nancy makes all the pasta for them too.
Wow, cool.
She's Newport's Noodle Queen.
Wow,
that's
dude.
her Instagram handle.
I heard they're like super legit. Cocktails are really good. I heard over
there.
Yeah,
they have a really good setup. And Kevin and I actually worked at Del Posto together too, so that's kind of a funny little thing. He was working there, and then left to go open some restaurants in France, and then came back and was in Boston for a little bit, and he found his way to Newport now. So he's the owner of that restaurant.
Sick.
So we kind of got in touch, and I was telling him, I was like, oh, Nancy can make your pasta, when you open. So we kind of went from there. He knew that it was going to be on par. So I kind of skipped a couple steps there. But Nancy ended up didn't like the hours that she was working, so I got her working. I talked to the chef and got her working some hours in pasta. So she used to make all the pasta, or a lot of the pasta at Del Posto.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
I've never made pasta.
You should definitely make pasta. So satisfying. And also, like,
do I
in
need
your house,
a KitchenAid mixer with the top thing?
No. You got flour and eggs at your house, right?
Yep.
Make pasta.
Does it matter what flour?
No.
I didn't realize
honestly, for the most part, I use all-purpose flour, a good
salt?
quality all-purpose flour. I don't put salt in my pasta dough.
It doesn't have to be.
I don't like to put salt in the dough. I'd rather it be in the water. In the water when you cook it,
I used to mess around making breads a little bit, but
I love making bread.
Dude, the most luck I ever had making bread, the New York Times has this no knead recipe or whatever. You put the stuff together, you mix it a little bit.
Is there baking soda or a leavener? Yeah.
No. Yeast.
Yeah.
You do it at night.
Yeah.
You mix it together. You leave it there.
Yeah.
You cover it. The next morning you come back. You can do it in the morning. Take it out. Flip it. Knead it a tiny bit. Let it rest. Let it rise
Bread's
for 20
cool,
minutes.
It's like a living thing.
It's the only way that I've gotten to when I was making bread.
Oh man.
For it to be like this.
I like to just pick a couple of different kinds of breads that I like to make. I make focaccia a lot because it's relatively easy to
sheet
do
pan?
And it's delicious. I do it on a sheet tray. Yeah, usually lots of olive oil. So,
Crisco on the pan.
No, lots of olive oil. I'll bring you some. Oh man,
why did we put
my focaccia? It'll make your toes curl.
We put sweet man. We put Crisco on the pan so that
so it doesn't stick.
No, it would be you take the dough and when you push it, I think this side would come with it.
So what I do is I'll mix the dough to make focaccia. I'll mix the dough. It's just you're mixing. So my recipe is 3 pounds of flour, 2 tablespoon of yeast, teaspoon of sugar, a quart of warm water. All of that. There's a lot of other little things in there, but you mix your dough, and let it proof. So proof is when the yeast lets out its carbon dioxide, and then
lives its whole lifespan.
Yeah, and then and there's an evolution to it, So you do that, and then you knock it down. So you let it proof, you knock it down. Actually, I learned a lot of this from Pietro Scotti, shout out Chef Pietro Scotti.
That's a whole world right there.
Yeah. So you proofing it, it comes up, you knock it down, let it come. Pietro told me to do it 3 times, so I always do it 3 times. It kind of builds gluten. It adds a nice chew. And it also adds a nice, they call it a crumb structure. So that's the consistency of the dough. You can see bubbles, nice big bubbles.
Yeah, that's what I always have a hard time doing.
Well, yeah, because you don't want it to just look like white bread when you're done. You want there to be some, look like it was handmade.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll do that, proof it, and then what I'll do is for the last proof, I'll put it on the tray, the sheet pan. I usually do it on a quarter sheet tray, like this. I'll put the dough there. You push it out. Cover it in a bunch of more olive oil.
The reason we put
some fresh herbs.
We put the Crisco because you'd push it and it would go like this. Push it.
Yeah.
If you put the Crisco, it would go. You'd push it and it would stay there.
Really? I don't know about Crisco. I just use a lot of olive oil. It's nice to have a lot of olive oil on the bottom because it kind of fries it from the bottom if you have a good oven. I use a pizza stone in my oven, so it sits on there.
Do you ever do bloom like the herbs first? Is that a thing? Blooming the herbs?
I mean, it depends what you're doing. I don't really.
Those herbs you just throw on
You don't
there.
really bloom herbs. That's more with like spices. Like if you're making something with saffron or whole spices like cumin or coriander, and you want to kind of wake them up sometimes, especially in like I know a lot of like Indian recipes. They do a lot of the frying, or even in Mexico.
We're talking dried things.
Yeah,
right?
but not herbs.
So when I say herbs, like you're thinking fresh herbs.
When I'm thinking herbs, I'm thinking like a leafy thing. When I think spices, I think of a grain or like a
basically
dried
peppercorns.
Yeah, peppercorn, things like that. Yeah.
Cardamom and
things like that. You want to bloom in some hot oil if you're making like a stew or things like that.
Oh, nice.
But herbs,
okay.
I kind of like them to be
like
either
dry?
Finished or kind of just on top. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I want freshness with the herbs.
Oh yeah.
Kapow. Fuck yeah.
Have you ever done sourdough?
Made sourdough? Yeah.
I think everyone made
maybe
sourdough
not.
this year.
That's a fun.
I don't want to talk about sourdough.
Yes.
I'm tired of hearing about sourdough this year, right? Everyone tried making sourdough, and then everyone bought all the fucking yeast. So when I go to buy yeast at the store, there's no yeast. I gotta go.
Do you use Fleischmann's?
I gotta go call Kathy from Newport Specialty. Shout out to Kathy from Newport Specialty Foods.
Oh, she's awesome.
Newport
She's got everything.
Sweet. I don't think I've done.
She's got all the good stuff.
If you're making sourdough, you need to make your starter from scratch. Like that's how I would.
Honestly, I don't think you do. I think if you get some from a friend, that's fine. But
sure.
But you need to. But the thing is, everyone's like, oh, I want to make sourdough, and then like 2 weeks later, it just dies in their fridge. It's like it needs if. It's just like it's like a living thing. It's a lifestyle change, and it's not just really. Honestly, I think if someone else can make it better than me, let them make it better.
Change.
Well, also, it's like, what are you gonna do with all that bread that you're baking? Are you gonna eat it? I don't eat that. I can't eat that much bread. No. And then you're just like giving it to people, and now you're buying 50-pound bags of flour.
I think it's just the fun doing it. It's like a Tamagotchi. You have to keep it alive every day. You have to take out.
Yeah, you gotta feed the bitch. You ever read Kitchen Nightmares? I mean, Kitchen Confidential. Anthony Bourdain.
I didn't read it.
That is the.
You gotta read. He has a whole chapter called like "Feed the Bitch." It's about one of the bakers at his restaurants, and one of his bakers like this alcoholic degenerate, and he would just like not show up to work. He would like just forget all the time, and he would call Anthony Bourdain, who was the chef of the restaurant, and he's like, oh man, you gotta feed the bitch, which is their starter. So they would do their own bread, but like, if this fucking asshole doesn't want to show up to work, a few days a week, so you got to go down there and you have to feed it. So you have to you're taking away a portion and then you're adding more flour, so that it turns into this living thing. But you have to keep doing that, otherwise you have to feed the bitch.
Last time we were talking to Jay Kindness, I was telling him about this place, the pizza box I used to work next to. They did their pizza that way. They had I call it a Cambro. I don't know what you'd call it, like a 40-gallon bucket.
A Lexan?
Yeah. Like
is
a
that
big
like the
plastic
square one?
bucket.
Big square
yeah,
plastic?
giant.
Yeah. We call those
a fish tub,
Lexan
like
or Cambros. Yeah.
the fish tub that would eat the other fish tubs.
Yeah.
And they'd have it all full of dough. They'd cut it, take half for today.
Yeah.
Fill the rest with flour, water. They'd take this side tomorrow.
That's some next level stuff. A lot of people don't do that. That sounds cool. I would like to try. I would like dough like that. I know that like the true Napolitano. Whatever. So the Naples. The pizza. I'm bastardizing this. But the Neapolitan pizza is supposed to be made with fresh yeast. It's not supposed to be fermented at all.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know what? Fuck that. If you make a dough that tastes delicious,
and you know your oven,
they did.
Yeah,
great
then
shit.
Who cares?
It didn't rise too much or anything. I don't know.
No, you know what?
The sourness
honestly,
is what
a lot of that
avoiding.
stuff is just people trying to tell other people how to do their job. You can be certified by this like consortium of like Neapolitan pizza, but it has to be like it has to cook. It has to be like a certain size. It has to cook in like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Fuck that, man. Fuck that. Just it has to be made with San Marzano tomatoes. It's like just make just You have to use like
But
buffalo
San
mozzarella.
Marzano tomatoes are the best, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
plum
delicious. I
tomatoes?
get them too. That's what I usually make. I usually supplement that to my tomatoes I grow to make tomato sauce. I'll make a couple times a year.
Sweet.
But I mean,
You freeze it?
no, I jar it. I put it in
You do?
mason jars.
I'm always scared of canning tomatoes.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why. I don't know.
Tell me, you've done jarring. So I did some canned tomatoes, and I think I did a subtle mistake of letting it being lukewarm, slightly warm, as I closed the jars and turned them around, and they went bad.
Whoa.
Oh, you're
What's
talking
the-
like the upside down method?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, you can
yeah.
get botulism, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no. So
That's scary
That's
shit.
kind of like old school Italian grandmother would.
Yeah.
What you would do is, Italian grandmother makes the tomato sauce, puts them in the jars, puts the top on, and leaves them. And the idea there is that the heat coming from the inside pushes all of the air out of the jar. But I don't do that. And you definitely, if you do it lukewarm, you're basically just closing it in there with the air that was in there.
Slightly
It's definitely, but you have to do it when it's hot and it pushes. So, but I don't do that method. I cook it a second time. I pasteurize it. It basically goes into the jars,
The hot water bath.
and then you put it into simmering water. You put them in there, and I go for, depending on the size of the jar, I'll usually 45 minutes to an hour simmering. And what that does is it pushes all the air out of the jar.
So you don't seal them.
I always canned.
Shut.
Well, you close it, but you don't squeeze it really shut, and the air will come out of there.
I've always done my water bath just 10 minutes, full boil.
Really, I get a little bit nervous about full boil because sometimes these jars rattle around.
Yeah. I had this like
When you put them in the jar,
a
are they
rack.
hot or are they already cooled down?
No, I don't cool them down.
I
no.
always did hot, fully hot.
I put them in hot, and then
The point of the hot water bath is to sterilize it.
yeah, you're basically pasteurizing it. Yeah,
That's
you're
something I did wrong.
I think so.
yeah. So I mean, I do that, and
It's tricky.
I've never had an issue.
You could hurt yourself, dude.
But you just gotta make sure, be smart about it. When you open it after it's been there for 6 months, pull it off. It should have some pressure. You should hear a pop, and then look inside. And
Even
if you
s-
don't see any bubbles or mold, you're
Even
probably
sometimes there is a scum on the top, right?
fine.
I
Never.
think no.
I've never.
I think
I've
some
never had
things,
that.
maybe even pickles too, maybe.
Oh
I
yeah,
think-
well pickles are a different animal. You're talking about different acids and sugars, and honestly, with most pickles, I wouldn't even really do that. I would just do. You can get for pickles, you can do like a pressure canning, so like you can just remove air because if they're acidulated enough, if there's enough acid, you're changing the pH.
If there are
to a point
any
where it wouldn't
people
come out.
out there follow recipes when canning,
Maybe we're gonna come out
Don't.
with new recipes.
don't come to us. Please fuck off and read a recipe.
You can hire me. I'll come to a pasta class and we'll make pasta. We'll make sauce.
And pickle class.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I used to make jams and stuff. So in Massachusetts, where I live, we tried and we were going to. We just needed to do a couple of things and then we just fell off. We were having kids. Get my home kitchen registered as like a cottage kitchen or whatever, and we were gonna make jams and
Like a commissary.
yeah, I was gonna be licensed. My house.
Yeah, there's some
Cool.
hurdles. There's some hurdles to doing that. Honestly, you're better off finding.
We were
You're
inspected,
better off
dude.
finding somewhere like Hope in Maine.
I was
You're-
inspected.
Oh, you were really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I got those big tubs we were talking about. The land, what is it?
Lexan.
Lexan.
Yeah.
I had 2 Lexans, one Lexan, and my 2-bay sink, my usual 2-bay sink.
Yeah.
I got testing strips that I put in my.
You didn't have to have a 3-bay sink.
Yeah, I think in Rhode Island.
The Lexan was one of the bays.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? I'm telling you, they inspected my
Yeah.
house.
I guess it's
They ran the strip through my dishwasher,
Massachusetts might be a little bit different.
and they said the food had to be stored in a separate
Did you
fridge.
get a food handler's license? You have a food.
I don't know.
You
I
probably
think I've
have to have
had it
one
over the
of
years,
those.
dude. Yeah, I've had it over the years.
Yeah.
I have a board of health approval.
Yeah. You took that class.
I actually don't handle food. I
Oh,
can't
that's
handle
true.
food.
You don't have any food. You don't need it for
I
handling
handled your
beverages?
donuts before you ate them.
That's it. All right. Hopefully I don't die.
Yeah, watch out, dude.
That's okay. Dying from eating meat donuts. There's worse ways to go.
ways to go.
Imagine if you die from eating something in Bulgaria.
Oh, like most stuff.
I heard it's a great place.
I only trust potatoes.
It depends where they were
I
grown.
don't know why I was reading about Sophia, but I was
Chernobyl
dude. I went down
potatoes,
like
the
a
glowing
fucking rabbit
ones?
hole.
No, you don't
Make
want
sure-
the glowing ones. anymore.
When you buy potatoes in Bulgaria, you need to put them under a black light.
Yeah,
Make sure they're not
Or
glowing.
go in your basement or somewhere really dark and make sure they're not, luminescent.
Whatever the half-life of the
Uranium
of the
is-
depleted uranium that's in everything. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm sure there's some really nice people in Bulgaria.
Some,
There's some nice producers that come out of Bulgaria.
I know, right?
Word. So yeah, I guess after that I left. So I was in New York for like 4 years. Met Nancy. We kind of started dating, got a little bit more serious, and
Wow.
around that point, I was trying to kind of get out of New York City. It was just a lot. It's just a lot. There's so much cool stuff to do. It's such a.
Overwhelming.
It's like I've been chased by homeless people walking to work for no reason.
Yeah,
I've
that's
watched
unfortunate.
people defecate on the subway. I've seen rats like jump on
And that was
someone's
just the back of the
face.
house, man. Never mind the front of it.
The subway. People have written books about the subway system in New York City. There's one called what's it called? Oh, the Mole People. Crazy. Look this up. It's you don't have to do it now, but whenever you want. It's called the Mole People, and it's these people that lived in the abandoned subway tunnels of New York City.
I've heard about this.
Crazy. A lot of it started out as like addicts and just mentally ill people. But it's crazy. There are people living like in these giant abandoned tunnels.
Sucky.
But like they've tapped into like fresh water and stuff like that. Insane.
I should consider that for my second coffee shop location.
There you go. There you go.
Amongst the mole people.
You
Nice.
can
They
get
got
in
some fresh
from,
New York water.
Union Station.
How fresh is the New York
Oh
water?
man, yeah, but I was right around then. I was trying to get where was I? I was trying to get out of New York. It was so much overload, just so much going on. It's great, but it's also really draining. Every day you're waking up and doing these things. Just to get to work.
What about like trying to come up with
endeavor.
rent for New York? That's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, my rent was I paid $950 a month for my room.
Well, that's not bad.
In a 3-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. That's not including utilities.
Someone was telling me like 1,600.
Well, yeah, it depends. I mean, to be honest, I was in a nice area, but I had kind of a crappy apartment. I was in Park Slope. Well, South Slope, they call it, I guess.
Is that all Manhattan Island?
No, it's in Brooklyn.
But that was a few years back, right?
Yeah, that was like a 30-minute ride to Chinatown, which is, that's a pretty good distance. It's like some people. My first apartment in New York was in Diker Heights, which is like down in Brooklyn. That's like a 2-hour. That's like coming home from work at like 11. The trains go local, which means they take longer. So it was like a 2.5-hour ride home.
Holy shit.
And then I'd fall asleep and I'd wake up at Coney Island. So the N train, a lot of the trains, what they do is they go from the north, which is like the Bronx or Queens. I'm going to butcher this. Someone's going to yell at me. But they go, a lot of trains, they travel, they basically just go in these big lines or big circles. They go from the north, which is the Bronx. Like some of them go, like the N train, for example, which I used to take. And it comes down, it goes all the way through Brooklyn. And then it ends in Coney Island, which is an amusement park, but it's also the end of the line for a lot of the trains. So they go there and then they turn around. So what happens is if you fall asleep on the N train, it takes you to Coney Island, and then the conductor or someone will walk through and wake you up and say, you got to get out of here and get on a different train because this one's not moving. So by then it's like 2:00 in the morning. One time I did this, and then I just rode it right back to work. And I went back to the restaurant.
Fuck.
Those were some days.
I used to live. One summer I stayed at my dad's house in Randolph near Boston.
Oh yeah, nice.
And I would take the red line in, go to Haru Sushi in the Prudential Center. That was the only big restaurant I've ever worked in. And I didn't cook there or anything. I was a bicycle delivery guy. Deliver sushi on my bike. But one night I missed the train,
That's
the last
a
train.
tough job. Get hit by a tractor, hit by a bus.
It was fucking fun,
delivering
but
someone's sushi.
I made $5 an hour.
Yeah,
and
you
sometimes
made
I'd have
tips.
like 3 deliveries. So $6 plus $5 an hour.
That's okay. We've all had jobs like that.
Uh,
I started off making $9.50 an hour in New York City.
yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. So
So the pay is usually pretty low.
Jesus.
I worked there for 4 years. I got 3 raises.
$9.50.
I got 3 raises. I left there making like maybe $12 an hour.
And you got to work
Killing it.
like 120 hours to pay your
But
rent.
I also used to. What they would do is you could make time and a half if you worked like banquets. So we would do these parties. You know, they do these nice parties. Del Posto had a pretty big basement where they had like 3 private dining rooms. And if you worked those parties serving like 150 people in the basement, it was a separate kitchen. So you could make time and a half doing that. So I would do that so that I could afford to go eat at like ridiculous restaurants. That's all I would spend my money on. You know, that's kind of where I wanted to be at that point. You know,
That's cool.
Doing some cool stuff. I was hanging out with people that were really talented. You know, I got to during the hurricane. What was that? Which hurricane was that? Hurricane Sandy. Was that Sandy?
2012 or
13?
2012?
I think it was like 2013. Yeah.
I don't think Sandy was that bad for us over here, but it was bad for New York.
It was bad in New York.
Connecticut.
We lost power. We lost power to like Lower Manhattan. All of the Bastianich restaurants were closed.
Whoa.
And we were like hanging out. Should I tell this one, Nikolai? Nikolai's heard this story a couple times.
2012, so it was 2020 October/November 2012.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so basically all the restaurants were shut down, and we were hanging out. I was hanging out with a bunch of other cooks from the restaurant at a bar in Brooklyn, and one of them gets a text from Mark Ladner, was our executive chef, and says, "Hey, you know, they need someone to go do this event with Mario in New Orleans next week or this week, and but it can't be anyone that's on salary because they need to be here in case we open the restaurants, which were underwater basically and no power.
Jesus.
So just imagine, you know, we did a lot of whole animal butchery and stuff like that. Imagine like 2 pigs in a refrigerator that's 70 degrees for 2 weeks.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was gross. They all hated me because I got to leave. Anyways, I went and ended up doing this thing. They were like, we need someone to go do this event with Mario and Matt, who was the chef de cuisine, Matt Abdu. Shout out to Matt Abdu. He was the chef de cuisine at Del Posto. So basically, they were like, you need to be here. You need to be at like 52nd and West End. I forget what the address was, 60th Street at 9 a.m. on this day. And, you know, we'll pick everybody up and you're going to go to New Orleans to do this event. Because I wasn't working, you know, I hadn't, you know, I think they paid us like $200 a week as like a sorry, you know, like hopefully you can survive and come back when we reopen. So we were all like really broke. So, you know, they were like, oh, if you want to do this, you got to be here. It's like, but there's a hurricane, you know, so like we had no power. Taxis weren't crossing the bridge unless they had more than 2 people, and the subway systems were shut down. It was pretty fucking nuts. So I ended up like paying this gypsy. Do you know what gypsy cabs are?
No.
So it's in New York. They have these. It's like a black Lincoln Continental. They have them all over Brooklyn, and basically that's the. I don't know how popular it is now since Uber has gotten popular and Lyft, but before, basically you would have this phone number and you could call them, or you could hail them sometimes. But it's usually like if you're at your apartment in Brooklyn and you want to get a taxi to take you somewhere, which is usually very expensive. But if you have to
It's
be
like
somewhere,
a private taxi almost, or
it
an
is.
Uber. It's
It's
like
a
an Uber before Uber.
It was before Uber, yeah. And anyways, so I reached out to them. I called them and they're like, yeah, we're not going across the bridge with one person. And also they were shutting down the gas stations. So like it was
How long
nuts.
was all this happening for?
It happened for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. So anyways, I get this. I got them to come pick me up. I think I paid like over $100 to get to Midtown Manhattan on purpose. I was like, here, man, get me there. So I got there and like where they filmed The Chew. You ever heard of the show The Chew? So Mario Batali. I hope I don't get in trouble for talking about this. I haven't signed anything. Anyways, all of your readers. Anyways, listeners.
All of our 50 subscribers.
Hey, you know what? You gotta start somewhere.
That's it, man.
So yeah, we ended up meeting there. Like Mario comes down, everyone meets up. We go We go to a private airstrip, get on a private jet. Like, we picked up some bagels to give to Emerald when we went down there. That was kind of cool. At this place, actually. Barney Greengrass.
So Emerald wanted some bagels?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you're a baller and you're going to visit your pal Emerald Lagasse in New Orleans, you got to bring him something good. So I remember we actually went. This is one of my favorite spots in New York. It's called Barney Greengrass, the Sturgeon King. It's a good spot.
Yeah, cool.
They've been there over 100 years. It's like 150
Fuck.
years.
I wish I made it out to eat more often.
I wish I could afford to go out to eat.
Yeah,
more
no
often.
kidding, man.
But anyways, we picked up some bagels and we went to the airport. We get in this private jet. We go, and then I fall asleep. It's kind of fun, like fall asleep on a couch in the air. And then we got to go do
It's
this.
nice sleeping on a plane.
Go get to this event. We did the Emerald Lagasse Foundation for like 500 people or 1,000, some massive amount. We were responsible for like one dish for like 500 people. It was like a pasta, like a duck ragu or something like that. Cavatelli.
Whoa.
That was fun. I mean, I did that. We stayed at the Ritz-Carlton.
Cool.
Presidential suite.
Whoa.
I didn't have the presidential suite. Mara had the presidential suite. It was funny because we went there and we get off the plane. We get into like a black Escalade, takes us to the Ritz-Carlton, and we get there and we're like, oh, you got to put down a credit card just to hold the room or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I have a credit card. So I give it to them, and they're like, yeah, it's $2,000 to they have to put $2,000 on hold,
Yeah.
in case you like order something or break something. And I was like, yeah, I don't have anywhere near that. My account probably had $1,000 limit, and it was probably like close to it. Anyways, so I remember I still have the bill. I thought it was pretty funny. I remember that Mario Batali had to put down his credit card for me. So yeah, we did that, hung out, got to go all around New Orleans. That was really cool. Get to experience New Orleans from that point of view.
I think my buddy went to New Orleans at that time to be like a helping builder guy.
Really? Yeah, because all the stuff from the previous hurricane, probably, some crazy shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty nuts. We got to do that and then come back. Yeah, we had to, do some cool stuff. I came back and then, everyone hated me at the restaurant because I left during this hurricane. While they're cleaning out like whole rotted striped bass from the walk-in.
How did you get the opportunity to leave?
It was
Just invited you?
serendipitous, I guess. I just kind of fell into it. I was at the right place at the right time, and then I got to do that. And then
we used to live in Portland, Oregon. There's so much good food
Portland's
out there.
cool, man. Jay loves Portland.
Oh yeah.
Oregon.
Oh, Oregon. Oh, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, Portland, Maine is awesome too. We were there the other day.
I've never been to Portland, Oregon, but I've heard some good things.
When we were in Portland, Maine, we met this awesome kid the other day. I'm gonna pull up his spot. So we were just walking down. It's so cool to see what people do, the stuff that people do. And I felt like this guy was doing a similar thing with me, just in a whole different world. Let me see how to do this. His spot's called Ishi Ishi. He does ramen. So we were walking down and we saw all these containers, and they're all painted different colors and stuff. There's the container right there.
Oh, is that like what they built it out of? Like shipping containers?
Dude, it was like 5 shipping containers lined up. One was like a knife sharpening one. One was like a...
That is sick.
Dude, so
you
sick.
can buy one of those for like $3,000.
Yeah.
See his container?
Yeah.
So the kid on the left right there.
No insulation in that whatsoever.
Yeah, but it's $3,000 for something that's made out of steel.
No,
it's
I think
pretty
it is.
strong.
I think it's pretty finished and insulated. If you
Yeah,
see
you
the
can
walls,
finish them. You can make them
it's
nice.
all finished inside. It's badass.
Yeah.
He took us in and made food for us. It was so awesome, dude. Guy
That's
was so
awesome.
cool. It's cool to see like have you ever thought about doing something like that? Like the movie Chef, right?
Honestly, I thought that the movie Chef with Jon Favreau is one of the better
It is.
food movies I've
Definitely.
ever seen.
It's so real.
Yeah.
It feels real.
Actually, John Favreau is actually kind of killing it. Have you ever like seen some of this stuff? I always thought he was like just. You ever seen the movie Swingers?
No.
You never seen the movie Swingers with John Favreau and?
Did he
Who's the
do
other
The
actor
Mandalorian? Was he part of The Mandalorian?
He was the writer and director of Mandalorian. So
Who's
he's
the guy? Who's the guy? With
But
the
he's
hat
also
they
done
show all
so
the
much stuff that people don't realize. Like
time? Iron Man.
yeah, he was Iron Man. Yeah, he's done some cool stuff. It's kind of crazy.
Who's the guy with the hat that they always show as one of the directors of The Mandalorian? Or is it? Oh, he's the director. So is John Favreau the director of The Mandalorian?
Yeah, I think so. I think he wrote some of it too. He like created.
Iron Man too.
Yeah, Iron Man. He's done a bunch of stuff. He did.
Who's the guy that I keep
what was
seeing
I
with the hat?
watching the other day?
Shit, man. I don't know. You guys watch The Mandalorian?
But anyways, the one that Chef like it hits home, you know, because he's got his son, you know, he's like divorced, has a son, dealing with all this stuff, and then dealing with critics that just rip you apart. You know, it's like
Fuck.
it's so real, and it's like honestly, that's like been a part of my life. You know, I decided to kind of take on this personal chef service as a way to spend more time with my family, my kids. I think right? You have kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 and 2.
Same?
How about you? 5 and 2?
Yeah.
You have a boy and a girl?
I have two boys.
2 boys? Cool.
Yeah, Aiden is 5 and Leo's 2.
Oh,
almost
cool,
3.
man. Oh, it's a lot of work, huh?
Have you seen the movie Birds? The one with Bradley Cooper?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just
Does it hit close to home?
not really. It's more just like that's a little bit more ego driven.
Very.
Honestly like the thing that made Chef so great was like, it's like, you got this chef who's like struggling with being relevant in like the food world and like struggling dealing with a boss who doesn't know anything about food, but you know what? He signs the checks, so you have to listen to him.
Yeah.
It's great. And then,
But he showcases a different part of cooking.
I think so too, yeah. Because it's really,
It's a
it's
suit.
yeah, John Leguizamo, he's hilarious.
What part of cooking does it showcase? The other part.
Like
What's
the pursuit of Michelin stars, the obsession with being the best.
The obsession with being the best, and then at the end, once you've reached the best, then you're like, you know what? Like, I don't need to do this. I don't need to be cutting pine nuts into 3 pieces that are the same, Well, I've done that before. It's
You had
terrible.
to.
It's terrible.
You
You don't
had
want,
to.
like, yeah, I mean, honestly, a prime example would be Brooks Headley. He'll never watch this, but hi, Brooks. He's a pastry chef from New York City who is like a crazy awesome dude who has no interest in any social media or probably the internet for that, but he was the executive pastry chef at Del Posto for a while, and he won Best Pastry Chef USA from James Beard. And then he won that award, and then like less than a year later, he left Del Posto to open a vegan fast food restaurant,
cool.
which is killing it.
What is it?
It's called Superiority Burger.
Huh.
And it's great. Brooks is a great chef and great pastry chef, and he's a drummer, like a punk rock drummer.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, he's sick. He was in a bunch of like punk rock bands in the '80s. Some of them I got some notoriety. I don't know if that's something that you're interested
Sick.
in.
Yeah.
But, I think one was called like Rise Against or something like that.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, Brooks Headley, drummer. Badass.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, Brooks and I used to hang out, like talking about, not really hang out, like hang out at the restaurant, talking about like weird, like obscure movies, like, I don't know. Like just talking about something that was like playing on HBO in like the late 90s, I don't know. But anyways, he's super talented, and I'm every chance I get that I go to New York, I go there. Nancy and I went and visited him when he first opened Superiority Burger, and we went and we sat. It's takeout. Oh yeah, you guys looking nice.
This is
What we got?
from Newport Craft. It's a malasada stout, and it's
Malasada, like the donuts.
like
Not-
like the donuts.
Not one of our sponsors. I just happened to get it.
That's cool.
but it's cool.
There you go. Yeah, it's okay. I use
Newport
Newport
Craft.
Craft.
It's insanely sweet.
That's the malasada
They
situation.
pretty much blended malasada with a stout and carbonated it, I feel like. Like in a
That sounds
Vitamix,
that
just-
sounds pretty gross. Yeah.
There's a new beer spot in town.
Oh yeah, it just opened, I think.
I saw,
Also,
is that over
starts
by?
with an R.
Is that over by the what is it?
Wait.
Barrio Cantina.
Yeah, Diego's to go or whatever.
Yeah, it used to be over there. They used to do like tacos and stuff.
Yeah.
There's also a cigar whiskey bar. that
I heard
just
about
started
this.
on the Whitney
Oh,
Avenue.
people were flipping out on social
Yeah.
media about that.
What? Why?
COVID, I
There's
guess.
no cigar and whiskey bar, I guess. I don't know if it's a whiskey, but it's a cigar lounge.
Yeah, some people are into that. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
I
not
never
really.
got into
It's not
it.
really my thing. Some people really enjoy
like that.
cigars, and
I do. I like cigars.
we used to at Gracie.
I like
At
hookahs.
Gracie, we used to do these cigar dinners. You get to smoke cigars in a restaurant.
Oh.
You ever smoke a cigar in a restaurant? It's kind of
Cool.
fun.
In Bulgaria, people
Cool.
still smoke cigarettes. This is not a joke. Bulgaria, still people smoke cigarettes in restaurants.
You guys have restaurants out
As
there?
you're eating, too.
There's people in Bulgaria.
Two, but they don't have four walls. It's kind of like a
No,
bombed out.
It's an outside spot.
Well, just a couple of the walls were bombed out. So
That's what, you know,
So
Part
is
of
it?
contributes to the aesthetic.
Is it kind of like a thing you guys busted his ass from Bulgaria?
yeah, pretty much.
Most of the jokes.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you have
Well,
to
no,
embrace
did-
it. You have to be able to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
jokes
yeah.
about
You,
yourself
nice.
before joking.
That's true.
about
You
other
do have to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
Nikolai came into work one time dressed as a Count Dracula.
oh, the plates.
Oh, did he tell you about
Heard about this.
that? Yeah.
Halloween 20.
Yeah, he came in for Halloween. Like, nobody else was taking Halloween seriously.
So
This
you.
kid shows up with, like, makeup and his hair slicked back.
Oh, that's totally Nick right there, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's okay. We have fun times. Yeah, so, I mean, I came to... We're talking about
Tell us about
revolving
the
doors. So after I was in New York City for a while, I wanted to get out. It's too much everything. So at that time, I was in contact with Albert and Sarah Bouchard. They used to come into the city a lot and, take me out. We'd go out for lunch or things like that. They'd be like, hey, Josh, take us to somewhere new we haven't seen before. Let's go out for lunch. So we used to go do that I did that probably 3 times a year with them for like a couple of years. They used to come in, great people. Everyone in Newport will say the same. Amazing people. So they were basically my family through college and on. So I still pull a shift there every once in a while over there.
You know that little plaque, that little plaque Sarah has, once at Bouchard, always at Bouchard?
There you go. So and then after a while, Albert was like, yo, I'm trying to open this restaurant next door. We just got the building. So it was actually a building that I had lived above previously. So Revolving Door, before it was Revolving Door, it was the Fifth Element.
Oh, really?
And then, the Fifth Element was over there. And then there was 2 years where it was nothing. And I lived above there. I lived above there for a year with Max. Max is one of the captains at Bouchard's. And
Cool.
it was a cool spot.
Cool.
Then we opened this restaurant. Albert was doing a big build out, on Revolving Door, which is our concept that had guest chefs. Jay and I had a great time, learned a ton from that experience, good and bad.
I learned so much.
Learned so much, yeah. Your experience, whether it's good or bad, you learn something. Everyone, I feel like that's something really important, especially for our industry. It's like, you're gonna work with some people that are awful. You're gonna work with some people that are awful human beings that that they're just terrible. But you learn from them, and you learn, good or bad, you take something away. So, kind of going through that.
Cool.
So we opened Revolving Door. We had a ton of fun. A lot of interesting stuff. Jay and I have this constant conversation about writing a book. All just the crazy shit that happens with these chefs that we would get in. We had some awesome chefs. We had
It
some.
must have been a whirlwind.
It was definitely it was different coming from New York City, where I'm trying to do something, and and then you've got you just thrown through a loop every 2 weeks or a month. But we had some really great experiences. We got to do some really cool stuff. We we did this competition called Battle Chefs, which was pretty badass. We basically, I reached out to every chef that I knew in Rhode Island and a lot that I didn't know. And I said, hey, you know, me and Chef Kevin Goudreau was helping me with it. Shout out to Kevin Goudreau and KG Kitchen Bar in Providence. With the two, we were all kind of working together on this thing, and just kind of, we would build like 6 chefs. So we'd get 6 chefs that go head to head in a single elimination culinary competition. It was sick.
Do you think people
That was
were
my
I think
tagline.
it was 8.
I think we did 6.
Do you think people
It
were
was 6 and then it was
appreciating?
single elimination.
You think people were appreciating what you were doing down there?
I do. I mean, we used
That's
to.
awesome.
It was fun, man. We would get, especially when it was like a local favorite. Like we would get,
We got Derek.
yeah, Derek Marquis. We had Kyle,
We had Basil.
Basil. We had, you know, we had a lot of local chefs. And the cool thing was, it was a cool like vibe, you know. I don't know if you've ever been in there. It's just
No, I
one long
haven't.
bar. There's the kitchen, but it's mirrored kitchens. So each chef gets their own station, and we would set up a big table full of ingredients they could use, and then there would be a secret ingredient that we would pull out. You know,
Jeez, like a, yeah.
Dorian one time.
yeah, we would get all kinds of crazy shit.
What
I
is-
did like octopus and chocolate.
Dorian's like a
I'd
nasty
get,
smelling
like,
fruit, right?
Yeah. You can talk to him about Dorian when he's on here. But anyways, we'd get all kinds of crazy shit. It was a great experience. And then basically they would go through this, and I mean we had awesome chefs. We had Champs Bidell from Persimmon in Providence. We had Rick Allaire from Metacom Kitchen in Warren. Jake Rojas, who has Tallulah Taqueria.
Cool.
Marcellus. Remember Marcellus? Oh man.
He is something.
I love Marcellus. I still talk to him sometimes. Very talented chef. One of the best resumes that we've had come through Revolving Door. Just, you know, all over the place. He's actually the chef of I believe the Fairmont Hotel in Seattle now.
Oh, it's
Yeah, he moved to Seattle a few months ago. But yeah, we would do this, and then, you know, there was no prizes. You know, they don't win anything. It's like we would have a trophy. We would like make a trophy, and then like it was bragging rights. You know, like you get a trophy, and then we had a plaque. It was cool, man. And then we would donate.
That's pretty cool.
We would donate a portion of all of the take to a charity. We did. I think we did a couple of times. We did Martin Luther King Foundation or
Sick.
Food Bank.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that made a ton of money, but it was.
It was great. It was good. It was good for people to like see that we were doing something, you know.
That's why I talk about the appreciation. That's like a special, amazing thing that.
Yeah. Also, you know, keep it local. Support people. You know.
Hell yeah.
That's Albert.
MLK does some cool stuff over there.
Albert seems like a great dude.
One of the things I really learned from him is you don't have to always be focused on profit. Like he's gonna keep Restaurant Bouchard open even if there's only 2 people for dinner. Like it's the mentality of being there for people that really struck a nerve with me. Like
You got to profit enough to be there, though.
you have
That's
to
a,
do something for the community. It's not all about profits.
Yeah, cool.
It's to bring people together, which has worked very well for him.
Yeah.
People love him for that.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to. I mean, it was cool, man. Especially, I just love it. Especially when you get like a local guy. Then you've got like their restaurant. Like all the people get out and they come over, and now we've got like we're at capacity.
At fire coatings.
Yeah. You know, and there's people like yelling and like it was a really great energy, regardless of whether or not it made money. I mean, it was a cool thing to be a part of at the time for sure.
yeah, it sounds like a special thing, man.
Yeah, it was very special.
That's badass.
Yeah, I think I saw you guys were donating to MLK too, right?
Yeah, I did some coffee for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're good people over there. Nancy is one of the women that works there.
Do you know Mel? by
I
any
donate.
chance?
What's up?
Mel? Mel's
I'm
one of
not
my
sure.
regular customers.
Oh
so
yeah, I do.
That's how I got hooked up with him.
Melinda. What is it? Guy or girl?
Girl, her name's Melissa. I
Melissa.
think.
Oh yeah. I think I've been
Think.
emailing her because I do a. I've done it in the past, and then I'm trying to get into it more. Breakfast.
Cool.
So I used to do when I was at Revolving Door. I used to do it every Tuesday. We'd
cook
go
breakfast
and,
over
go and
there.
cook breakfast
oh,
over there.
right. I think I
Yeah.
heard about you guys trying to get over there. Right. That's
Yeah,
so
they've
cool.
got they do like it's like usually like 30 to 50 people approximately, and you go over there and you make something, just make something good.
Oh,
You know,
that's right.
I usually do breakfast burritos and like some kind of home fries and a fruit cup. You know, and people
Yeah.
are excited because you know you actually make something that tastes good. And when we're done, I'll sit there and I'll eat it with them too. But now they're not inside.
That's what he told me. Somebody came in who was getting coffee for him and Mel to head over to work.
Yeah,
he
they're
said
good people.
They were feeding people, but they were giving them like meals to take away.
Yeah, it kind of has to be that way. They used to feed them inside, but you know, it's
a cool
something.
spot.
And you know, it's like
We did Toys
it's
for
funny,
Tots
I
with
think-
them too.
oh yeah, cool. Yeah, they donate a ton of stuff. I like to keep it local and support these guys. You know.
So this is podcast number 4.
Oh shit.
So we're just still getting used to doing this and getting the hang of it, and it's a lot of fun. But one thing I'm realizing is I'll do the whole day, and then I'm fucking exhausted when I come to hang out. I hope
Honestly,
I can
this
schedule.
is the most social interaction I've had in a while.
I know it's fun.
Really cool about it. They're embracing it, I feel.
What's that?
Everyone's been on-
Yeah.
Dude, it's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
Jay lives right around the corner, I think, doesn't he? Lives
Get
like
him the
right
fuck
around-
over here. Dude,
Oh, yeah.
dude, FaceTime him. See what the fuck happens.
Jason.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. You know, being at Revolving Door was great. I met a lot of people, and it kind of inspired me to do what I'm doing now. You know, there were a few personal chefs that had come through, a couple that like had no professional experience in restaurants, which I noticed was a hindrance for them. But when you're a chef that works at a high level and managing staff and doing all these things,
They were school people.
yeah, or like, you know, we had a couple of chefs that were just like that were personal chefs and had never worked in a professional kitchen. They went and worked for a family or
There's
things
a
like
hustle
that.
there that you need.
You do, but what happens is when you go from being a chef at a high level or like a chef that is managing a lot of people, when you go to this business, honestly, I don't want to say easier, but it's much more approachable for someone that has that experience. It's like saying, you know, you're used to climbing up a mountain with 100 pounds on your back. Here's 20, you know, but it's all focused on you though. There's no one to blame except yourself, which is kind of great.
See, he's a cool guy. Marvin. So he recognized me. So I was telling you about that bike delivery I did.
Oh yeah.
So then a year after that, I graduated college. I came to Newport. This is my first job in Newport. I went to every spot I could find, and I said, do you guys want to do bicycle delivery? I used to do it in Boston. Everybody said no. They're like, fuck that. And it, except for one place, the deli.
Oh yeah.
They're on Broadway. So I worked there. They were like, dude, I don't know. We're just getting started. Delivery sounds cool. Figure it out. Make it happen. I used to bring Marvin sandwiches at the Clark Cookhouse. And we used to deliver steaks to him, too.
Yeah, that's where I met him last summer at the cookhouse. Oh, come on, Jason.
Hi.
What's going on, Jay?
What's going on, man? Are you doing your podcast?
Yeah, we're just sitting here, you know, talking about you, you know.
Am I a call-in guest right now?
Thinking of you.
Yeah. Welcome to the world.
Do you have to wear...
There are literally dozens of people that will see this.
Do you need a face... Do you need a...
Jay and I had this joke about we were on the Bay magazine. I don't know if you remember. We were on the Bay magazine, which is a free magazine that goes around, and we were like, oh no, it was the road show. Where like dozens of people will see this in a laundromat somewhere.
Yes. That's the one who's in a laundromat. Yes. With no volume.
Yeah. I'm upset because they cut me off halfway through, you know. Yeah.
What's up, dude? Thanks for being on the show. You didn't know you were going to be on the show, did you? What's going on?
How's the show going?
You know. Episode
try
3 was
this,
a lot of
did you
fun.
try this
Episode 4 is all right.
Espresso tonic situation.
Yeah, I did. It's tremendous. I couldn't sleep that night.
Really?
That's
Was it because of the espresso tonic, or just you just couldn't sleep?
Yeah, it was a little both.
All right. All right. Well, stop stealing my spotlight. All right. We're here to talk about my business. All right.
Have your shot, Jay.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
Do you think your sister was watching?
Oh man.
Bed.
Good. All right. We'll see you later, Jay. Make some nice tiki cocktails over there and poke.
Wolf on Main Street?
Later, guys.
All right. Yeah, Jay's a super good friend of mine. We like to think we're best friends, even though we don't really see each other that much anymore.
Yeah, but
I used to go
parents, that's how it
when I was
happens.
working at Gracie's in Providence. I used to go on like right after Jay opened the pizza shop. I would go like Tuesdays or Wednesdays after service. I'd go hang out with him for like an hour or two, take out the garbage. He'd let me make a couple pizzas. I'd bring them home. It's kind of fun, you know. I love everything about cooking, to be honest. You know, if you're doing any task in a kitchen, it's like it's just as important. Everything is important, you know. So it's like watching. Absolutely. Everyone's the most important person. Everyone likes to say the dishwasher is the most important person. The dishwasher is incredibly important. Always respect the dishwasher. I always get the best dishwashers. It's usually because I speak fluent Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, you just gotta treat your people well. You know, actually that's something that I learned from Albert a lot is just treating your staff well, and it goes a long way. If someone's if someone's at home and even if they're like a lazy person, you know, they're at home, they're like, oh man, I don't want to go to work tonight. It's gonna be slow. I'm not gonna make any money. But you know what? The owner drove me to the bus stop last night, and the ground was full of snow. So he took the time out of his day to drive. He used to do this with a bunch of the staff. Emily, I don't know if you ever met Emily, but like a lot of the staff, you know, like it's like little things like that, you know. It really is. Or even just like giving a shit about who I am, and like, you know, when you're with your staff, you ask them how everything's going and actually give a shit, you know, like actually care, you know, which doesn't happen as much, you know, with people. Everyone's just so hyper focused on the goal they're trying to accomplish, when really the only goal that really matters is to grow a team and give awesome hospitality.
That's what Danny Mayer said.
Danny Myers, yeah.
Number one, do your staff.
Yeah, Setting the Table. You read Setting the Table?
Yeah.
That's a good book.
Ish. I'm reading it. I'm poking through.
Danny Myers is a savage. I mean, I've listened to him speak do some stuff in New York City. We used to go, actually, Ellen Slattery, the owner of Gracie's, took me and some of the staff.
What were his restaurants?
So he owns a whole bunch of restaurants, but he owns Gramercy Tavern. He used to own 11 Madison Park, but now it got out of it. He owns he's got a barbecue spot called like Blue Heat or something like that. Or he's got a bunch of restaurants. He owns Shake Shack. You ever been to Shake Shack?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Shake Shack's good.
I've never been. No,
I'm not a fan of crinkle cut fries. I'll be on record, but what?
Union Square Cafe.
Oh yeah, Union Square Cafe was his first restaurant, I believe. He talks about that a lot in the book. Yeah, Shake Shack. You should definitely check out Shake Shack. They're a machine. There is one in Providence now. I went to go see. I saw them making the patties. So they get all of their beef from Pat LaFreda, Pat LaFreda is a butcher. Used to be out of meatpacking in New York City. They moved to New Jersey like 20 years ago, I think. And they're just a badass butcher. Like, if you ever want to, if you've got some money to spend.
So they get quality beef.
Yeah, we got all of our beef from Del Posto. All of our meats, for the most part.
And that's where he's getting it for his fast food place?
Yeah. So
Wow.
They had like a whole section just dedicated to making the burgers for Danny Myers. You can order the same blend. I used to do it for family meals sometimes because at Gracie's we used Pat LaFreda. So I used to order you can buy the exact burgers that they sell. They're nice. They do. I forget. It's like a grind of like short rib and chuck, something like that.
Sick. I'm excited for Plant City down the street.
Yeah.
What do you think about plant-based food?
I think that it can be amazing.
Yeah.
I think that it can be amazing. I think that you shouldn't try to make something that it's not.
You're not into that?
Just don't try. Don't give me tofurkey. Don't give me something that's trying to look like something it's not. Give me like a beautiful Indian dish or like a grain salad.
Plant-based on its own.
You know, or just something that's flavorful. Like honestly, I keep going back to Indian food whenever I think of vegetarian stuff because they just do it so well. Yeah. It's like, you know, I don't just like you can tell like when someone cares.
You ever been to the Grange in Providence?
I haven't, but I used to walk past it every day on my way to work. They've been in the game for a little while too.
Nice spot, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about vegetarian cuisine if it's done well. You know, like we used to do at Gracie's, we do a vegetarian tasting. So like, you know, you could come in and each station would be responsible for a mini dish, and we would do 3 of them on a plate, like a large plate with underliner, and then we'd put 3 different plates on.
What's
there.
underliner? Like
each one is like a composed dish. What's that?
Doily.
Yeah. But it was fun, and that would be something that would change seasonally. That would also be something that the cooks could take responsibility over.
That's cool.
Vegetarian food is hard. Everyone can grill meat and make it taste good.
Yeah, I mean,
I eat rice and beans every day.
Oh, are you vegetarian?
Yeah.
What kind? What kind of a vegetarian? Do you eat eggs?
I don't
You
know,
eat
the chubby
cheese?
kind.
You eat cheese?
The chubby, tired kind. Do I eat cheese? Yeah, I eat cheese occasionally. I eat
Eggs?
dairy occasionally.
Fish? No.
I didn't drink. I don't do fish.
Yeah.
I eat turkey now sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I have sandwiches from Scratch Kitchen on
See,
Broadway.
I like vegetarian cuisine. I just don't. I like vegetables. I love vegetables. I think that
Vegetables
that
are
America
alright.
America has a very skewed food system that is a whole
Yeah,
other
we
topic.
need more
Is a
plants.
whole other topic that we can talk about.
Cast number
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you look into like Dan Barber. Dan Barber has he owns Blue Hill in New York City. Great chef. He owns Blue Hill. He
That's
owns,
a
also owns a
plant-based
place
spot?
called Stone Barns. It's not plant based, but they respect the shit out of vegetables.
I fucking love mushrooms, man.
its own garden, right?
Yeah, they have Stone Barns in Hudson Valley is on a farm, and it's beautiful. They do, they just really try to highlight local sustainable products, which everyone seems to be following that. A lot of people seem to be following that path, but to really do it the way they do is a huge endeavor.
All right,
I've been to Blue Hill in New York.
I wanna talk to you about French fries.
Yeah,
French fries. So we used to do it.
I have a pretty strong opinion about French fries.
Oh really? What's your
It's
opinion?
an art.
Well, what were you gonna tell me?
Well, when I think of French fries or potatoes at
Yeah.
all, I think if you just don't, that's your potatoes for me is a spot's like wet dream. Like, don't fuck up the potatoes. Everybody likes potatoes.
Yeah.
Just cook them all the way. Just don't fuck it up. Like, that's your opportunity to just impress anyone.
Yeah, well, most people don't even make their own French fries.
We
I would
used
say
to-
90% of the restaurants in Newport that serve French fries
Yeah.
buy them in a
I heard
frozen
Mission
bag.
has amazing French fries.
I've had the Mission French
Tried
fries.
them.
I think they're very good. I prefer a thinner fry. I prefer like a
Like potato in a thing, pull the thing down, kind of.
yeah. That's what we did when I was at Revolving Door for our
fast.
steak frites. We do you just have a setup with one
No.
of these things, and you get like 60 count Idaho potatoes, russets, cut them to size. I do a blanch. I blanch once. Some people
Tell
get
me what blanching
some
is
people
all
it's
about.
partially cooking. Blanch is to
Boiling?
partially cook something. Well, it depends. It doesn't have to be boiled. So I do it in the oil. Some people boil them in water. I think that's what Mission does. But
I thought the guy was talking with the guy. I thought
oh
we used to do what I used to do that I
Yeah.
didn't know anything about, and then I learned, and they were fucking amazing.
yeah
Cut them, fry them,
yeah
take them out of the fryer.
Yep.
We'd use a Cambro that had a strainer in the bottom.
Yep.
It would fall down, refrigerate them,
Yep.
then cold, par cooked,
Yep.
fry them again.
Yeah. That's
Fucking bomb.
yeah. That's like pretty much the setup. I mean, people just change that in different ways. Some
Giant
people
salad
complicate
bowl.
it. Yeah.
Giant salad bowl, fries,
Yeah.
sea salt. Shoo, shoo, shoo.
Yeah.
Fucking done, dude.
Double cooked French fries.
You got the double cooked French fries?
Yeah, of course. Well,
When we
well,
ran
if you
out and you
don't-
cook 'em?
If you don't, you can still cook them, but you're not gonna have that creamy.
We used to do
You
these
should have
fucking
a
fat
fluffy,
boys.
creamy interior and a crispy, crunchy outside. You know,
Yeah.
and then some kind of flavorful aioli or
Fuck
something like
yeah,
that.
dude.
Yeah, I usually do like a 3-minute blanch at 300 degrees in the oil. That's for like a McDonald's sized French fry, and
We used to do
then
these
you cool
fat
them.
steak ones.
Yeah, some people like the steak fry too. It's different. Steak fry is better if you want to do like a double blanch. I know some people do like they'll blanch in water, and then they'll finish it in the oil, and then they'll cool it down again, and then on the order they'll fry it at 375. It just for me it just complicates so much. I can make a beautiful French fry that's blanched once, and then finished at 375, 350, 375 for 3 to 4 minutes.
Sick.
Yeah.
I used to work at this truly like traditional Israeli food truck.
Oh yeah.
And we only had like 6 menu items, but it was like straight up like traditional, like no substitutions allowed.
Yeah.
We made fucking bomb falafel.
Yeah,
So
I love falafel. You ever been to Israel?
No,
Israel's awesome.
I'd love to.
I got to go.
You need it? You want anything? You need anything?
I'm good. I don't know why I did that. No, I got plenty of shit over here. Look at
Nice.
this.
I like
Look
that
at
you're
this.
enjoying the shit. You're the first
What do you mean?
person to enjoy all the things I put out. I don't know. You get caught up. You gotta try these, dude.
Yeah, I'll
Please.
I'll give it a shot.
We used to do. Okay, so you take like a brown bag, kind of like not this material, but like that. We would take a pita, a round pita, cut off about 10% off the top, so you could open it.
Yeah.
Hummus, tahini. Then we do the falafels. He had this tool that was like a traditional falafel tool, I guess.
Oh, so it makes that shape.
Like a little
Looks
melon
like a
ball.
little donut, right? Kind of.
It would make like a little, like almost like a little melon ball.
Yeah.
Like an ice cream scoop, except
Yeah.
it was like this big.
Yeah, and you plop them in there.
Yeah, fry those, do that. We did amba. You ever had amba? It's pickled mango. Pureed pickled mango.
Really?
Amba, tsug. Tsug is a green hot sauce with lots of like parsley and jalapeno.
Nice.
And then harissa. Harissa, you may know harissa. It's pretty
Yeah,
popular.
yeah, I love harissa. It's a chili pepper.
Is it harissa?
Yeah.
No, whatever it is, it was fucking bomb.
Yeah, I love harissa. It's funny. I make like a harissa that I use for things. I'll also jar it, but it's funny because sometimes it's very similar to like the Mexican adobo. So it's like literally,
Yeah.
it's very similar ingredients.
Ours wasn't like anything smoked.
Really? Well, it doesn't have to be smoked. It's basically, it's like chili peppers. I usually do like chili peppers with lots of garlic and onions. I think traditionally harissa has rye in it. Well, we call it rye, but like caraway.
Right,
Or
yeah,
cumin or
yeah.
coriander, kind of
A lot
things
of
like
caraway. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Doesn't adobo have some citrus in it? Dried citrus?
I don't think so. I don't know. Ask my mother-in-law.
Dude, it'd be sick if you were casted to the TV and you could pull stuff up for us, young Jamie.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Yeah. Oh, is that like like Joe Rogan? Does?
Yeah.
Hey, put up.
Hey, pull up the fucking turn off your pop-ups, man. What the fuck? We got 541.
Look
I
at
got
his-
shit, but I don't
Look
like
at his
looking at my
browsing
phone.
history.
Yeah, nice. Another sandwich I did you might think was cool. I used to work at this spot, the deli. I think I was mentioning it before.
Where's that?
It was on Broadway. It's not around anymore.
Yeah.
We used to bake the bread. We used to make take whole top rounds, make roast beef.
Yeah.
It's fucking bomb. We used to make a sandwich called the Weck.
Yeah.
And it's popular in Buffalo, New York.
Oh yeah, I'm 2 hours south of there.
You ever heard of a Weck sandwich?
No, you know what they have? It's popular up there. It's called the garbage plate. You ever heard of that?
I think I heard of it, but
Garbage
I don't
plate,
know.
It's like macaroni salad with like chopped up hamburgers on top. It's fucking weird.
Dude, the Weck was bomb. So you take like
Okay.
would you call it a Kaiser roll? A round roll, right? Cut it in half. You make good roast beef. Then you would take that, dip the top of the roll in the jus, and then dip it in a plate of caraway and sea salt. So the top of the bun was like a pretzel covered in caraway and sea salt. Then you'd essentially make a roast beef sandwich with horseradish and this fucking bomb roast beef we made.
Nice.
And I think that's all it had.
I love sandwiches, man.
Oh, dude.
There really is. There really is. It's like it's tough, man.
You like a banh mi?
I do love a good banh mi. I'd like to be able to find one around here.
When I was in Oregon.
You ever go to Sunrise?
Heard about this.
Yeah.
My
Oh yeah, they're great.
friend
They're great
said-
people. It's
yeah,
a family. It's a Vietnamese family. They own it. We used to go there. Nancy and I go there with the kids. You
Yeah?
get pho. You eat pho.
He said it was good pho. No, I've never had it.
Their pho's pretty good.
I don't eat beef.
It's pretty
It's
good.
beef stock, right?
They make a vegetarian one.
Oh, yeah?
Actually, my wife gets it. She likes the beef broth,
Does it
but
have
with just
noodles?
like lots of vegetables.
Does
in
it have
it.
noodle in it?
Yeah, it's usually rice vermicelli noodles.
Vermicelli, right.
And if you get it like all the way, like you should, it comes with like tendon and like brisket and stuff like that. And then they actually take a couple of thin slices of raw beef and they put it right on top, so it cooks in the broth.
Whoa.
It's good.
I used to destroy pho in Vietnam. That would be breakfast because it would be like 50 cents for like a huge bowl.
And it's really good, and it's also like when you get done eating a bowl of pho, you still feel good about yourself. When you get done eating a bowl of ramen, you're like I need a couch.
Ramen is at least 15% fat of the broth.
Yeah.
Don't get full by ramen.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
Yeah, you should get basil on here. Basil U.
Is he the
you remember
Yagi noodles guy?
Basil? Yeah. Yeah, Yagi. Shout out to Basil
I would
U.
love to, dude.
Yagi knows
If you know him,
he's about
mention it to
to
him.
have a baby soon too.
He's got a lot going on. Yagi's about to
Basil's super
kinda?
talented chef.
I
He's
heard.
working on it. I was in there with him working some shifts last year. Well, over this past year. So we
Like doing it mobile? The mobile thing?
No, well, he was doing some stuff like that, like
pop-up thing?
craft, pop-up and stuff. But he has a brick and mortar down.
Is it open?
They're not open yet. They're
Next to
trying
VST.
He's yeah. We were doing it out of VST, and then they kind of moved it. He's moving right next door.
Sick.
Yeah. They do some cool stuff, and I mean, it's just nice to have something that's, gosh, I feel like sometimes Newport becomes like this ethnic desert of like,
Yep.
like I just. Like you asked me, it's like where do you tell someone to go out to eat? It's like, it's just I feel like there's a lot of stuff that caters to the tourists. Maybe that'll change a little bit, because people are really cooking for the locals right now because we're not getting as many tourists. But there's still like 30,000 people that live here, and they all have to eat. So
It's kind of sad.
hopefully people start to. Yeah, I mean, just I guess you have to find. There has to be a way for it to just for people doing something good to work.
You ever been to
time to have a more ethnic restaurant work out.
Yeah.
You ever been to International Pocket Cafe?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Good pockets, dude.
What the
It's
fuck?
good rap.
That's my favorite. I'm dreaming about that place.
Yeah, their falafel's okay. I don't get me wrong, I've eaten it many times and it is good, but I think their falafel could be better.
Gotta work on that falafel game.
Like a good falafel should be fluffy. It should be green from the parsley and the chickpeas.
Oh,
It should
dude.
be like a pale green. But theirs is always brown.
Well, I feel
No
like
offense,
it's a different.
they do a great job.
I think it
and
might
I'd
be
rather
a-
go there before many other places.
I think it might be a different style, like from a different place kind of thing.
Maybe.
Dude, the place I used to work.
Well, they all
was
speak Spanish in there,
Fucking
so.
bomb, dude.
I feel like everyone speaks Spanish in those restaurants.
Oh,
Only
yeah.
a few that doesn't.
I used to work for this guy making falafel. It was so fucking
Nice.
bomb. Oh, that's the souk.
Yeah, I love Israeli cuisine. There's you ever heard of Zahav? There's this restaurant called Zahav in
No.
Philadelphia.
No?
They're winning all kinds of crazy awards for their Israeli cuisine. Israel's
Sick.
awesome. I went to Israel a few years ago.
I'd love to, man.
We do. If you're Jewish, you can go for free.
How?
They do this. It's called Birthright.
Oh, right,
You
right,
never
right.
hear about this before?
I think I've heard about it.
Yeah. You basically just have to fill out this little application, and you can go to Israel for free
So
for 14
sick.
days.
I think the best Mediterranean restaurant I went to was in New Orleans. Have you heard of Shaya?
No.
It's probably one of the best
Mediterranean.
Israeli restaurants in
Yeah.
the U.S.
Could you, hey Nick, could you try and find the one I was talking about before? I think it's Jose Andreas owns. It starts with a Z. It's in D.C. It's Mediterranean. I think that's what he actually calls it, Mediterranean. I think I called it Greek, but it was good. It was cool. It was one of the nicest restaurants I've
Jose
ever been
Andres
to.
is savage.
It was fucking
He's just like-
badass.
He should win every award out there.
Sardinia?
Yeah, Zaitenia. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah?
it.
Nice.
That was cool.
Very well rated.
That was cool. There's this new spot, Water Dog. Food is awesome in
Oh, yeah?
Warren.
Oh yeah, I haven't.
Fucking
I don't
bomb.
check out Warren that much.
Dude, Warren has a lot of spots.
Yeah, Warren's cool. That's where Rick Allaire has Metacom Kitchen. He's a good friend of mine, super talented chef.
I think I've heard of that too.
Yeah, they do some awesome like fine dining stuff out there. There's also what's the commissary kitchen they've got in Warren?
Oh, Hope in Maine.
Hope in Maine. Yeah, there's some cool stuff out there.
Yep.
I was in there. I was in there like a month ago, checking it out.
In Hope in
Working
Maine?
on some projects. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, so
Yeah.
that's one of the things I wanted to ask you. JB Cuisine, you
Yeah.
mostly use private kitchens to make the food. Do you ever use a commissary?
So if I do, it's usually Yagi noodles. I'll go there if I
Oh, wow.
if I need to do something big. Otherwise, I'm cooking in their kitchens, these people's kitchens. So it's a really pretty low overhead for me for this.
Cool.
But Hope in Maine is cool because you can, if you ever have like a project that you want to work on, that requires that.
Yeah.
Like what were you talking about? Like if you want to make your own jams. So if you want to make, if Joe Schmo wants to make his strawberry rosehip jam that's delicious and you want to sell it, you can't just make it at your house and sell it legally. You need to do it somewhere that has the facilities to facilitate that. And Hope in Maine does that. They're basically an incubator for food products.
I know someone who's working on getting her bagel situation done over there. She just told me today. And,
yeah? It's not JMO?
No.
JMO's Bagels?
Okay, with JMO Bagels, I keep hearing they're fucking bomb. The problem with that is I feel like that JMO Bagels are Nitro's thing, so I'm not going to, like, step on their
Yeah,
thing.
I guess he was producing
buddy.
them there before.
Yeah.
But now he's producing them in Portsmouth, I think, at Foodworks.
Have you ever had Providence Bagels?
I have. I'm a bit of a bagel snob.
I think that
Jameson. I think James makes some nice. James he makes the best bagels on Aquidneck Island, and maybe Rhode Island. I don't know.
Providence bagels.
There's not a lot
bomb.
of like. It's tough. I mean, I was living in New York. I'm Jewish, and I grew up in New York. I lived in New York City for a while. I'm pretty passionate about smoked and cured fishes
So what are your
and bagels.
top 3 bagel toppings?
Bagel toppings.
Bagel.
It would probably be,
So
salmon.
jalapenos.
Salmon first is, obviously it's a classic. And then sturgeon.
Okay.
Which is this.
What's sturgeon?
This is a sturgeon.
Oh.
Yeah. Sturgeon's awesome, man.
Whitefish.
Yeah, and then probably like a whitefish spread would probably be something that I would like for my 3 bagel toppings. Some scallion cream cheese. Yeah.
Someone told me Providence Bagel takes black pepper and blends it with the cream cheese. I gotta
do
talk to
they?
him about it. I don't know about it. I don't know. Maybe it's white pepper. I don't know.
I don't know. I've had their bagels too. Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, if you're in New York City, you go hit up this place, Barney Greengrass, or there's one called Russ and Daughters. Russ and Daughters is pretty badass. And then those two, and then I would probably hit up Essa Bagel, which
What
is
about
another
Bagel
one.
Boys?
What's that?
What about Bagel Boys?
I mean, that's like a chain, right?
No, they're a local spot.
Oh, here, yeah.
What about? I don't know. I gotta find a source, man.
Yeah.
Gotta find my hookup, my bagel hookup.
Bagel hookup.
There's an awesome place
I mean, would you
in
do a
Montreal.
ton of service? Would you sell a ton of bagels here?
Maybe a dozen.
You might. You have a toaster?
Okay.
Oh, I think I
Somebody-
saw you post about
Somebody sent me a toaster, dude.
that. I saw it was a Waring one
From
Waring?
nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, they make good
Fucking-
stuff.
It's legit. It's a legit commercial one. It's got a little bagel / toast switch.
Nice. And you
Yeah.
don't know where it came from?
No.
That's awesome. You should do. You know what you should do? You should pass it on. So you should give someone a gift and not tell them where it's from.
Oh, dude, I love that.
I do that sometimes. Do something nice for somebody,
Aw,
but don't tell them you
man.
did it. You should do it tomorrow. Do something small. Do something small for somebody, but don't tell them you did it.
That's fucking cool.
You know.
Drop some coffee.
You got like
off
an old
somewhere.
neighbor. Go take the newspaper off the ground and put it right up on his porch. Little things.
Yeah. I like that. I gotta do that.
Should. A lot of ugliness in the world right now.
Yeah.
Need some love.
That's cool. I'm not the best gift giver, dude. I'm
Yeah?
not a cool gift giver. I'm extremely self-absorbed.
I don't believe that.
I don't think it's the gift that matters. I think it's the act. that more-
I
Yeah.
enjoy giving gifts. It's fun. It's nice.
Me too.
Dude, I'd
I
make
enjoy
coffee.
giving more than receiving.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Like
That's
when
not
I got
strange.
that toaster, I didn't feel warm and fuzzy. I did a little
You
bit.
felt a little confused.
I feel nervous. Like, how the fuck do I show appreciation for this? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh God, this guy's gonna hate me. I don't know, whoever it was.
Well, it was addressed to you?
Yeah, and it got delivered here.
But it was addressed to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan Durant.
Oh, so then it's yours, right?
You didn't steal anyone's toaster?
Yeah.
They delivered it to the building, like upstairs somewhere. So
it
someone
sat
came
there
down
for-
and said, "Hey, we want to get your shit out of here." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Really?
It's like, dude, it's got your name on it in a box, like sitting outside for a week. I'm like,
There you
what?
go.
So I went up, fucking
You're
badass
welcome
toaster.
for the toaster.
Oh, thank you, dude. Oh man, I had no idea.
No, it's all good. What else?
How's your coffee? Is that the coffee or the tequila?
This is the tequila. I gotta start
Dun,
closing in
dun,
on some of these drinks before I get out of here.
Dude, thank you for getting a baby.
What is it? It's like
Good
what?
thing you don't have to drive back home.
I got a long drive, honey. Keep them coming, you know. You ever
Dude.
see what's that movie? Shit, Jay would know. There's a movie with Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray, and they're professional bowlers. You never seen this? Kingpin. Yeah, Kingpin. And they're in Kingpin, and Bill Murray is sitting at like a diner, and he's like, he orders this drink. He said, "Let me get a Tanqueray and Tab." So like, do you know what Tab is? It's like it's a soda. It's like one of the first like diet colas that came out in like the 60s or whatever. It's awful. It tastes like if a Diet Coke got, I don't know. I haven't really tasted. Yeah. Yeah, it's anyways. So he's like, let me get I got a long, she's like, would you like that? So like, he's like, yeah, I'll have a Tanqueray and Tab, and I got a long drive, honey, so keep them coming. it's like, oh man. Kingpin, great movie.
Maybe it's on the watch list.
Oh yeah. It's great. Well, he loses his hand. Woody Harrelson loses his hand in an
Ruin it for me.
Ugh.
Yeah.
2 and 5. Your kids are the same age as mine.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
Isn't it's the best thing ever?
Best thing I ever did. Best thing that's ever happened to me. You know?
It's the
And the
best thing.
scariest.
It's really all that
There's
matters.
people that you're responsible for the lives of other people now. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do, and I don't want to fuck it up. No fighting at home, man.
You won't fuck it up if you don't.
Well, I
Just
hate
don't let it
fighting
happen.
at home. That sucks.
What do you mean?
You ever argue with your wife?
Of course.
Oh, it sucks.
Every healthy relationship has arguments.
I know. It's something to like.
My father told me once. He said when you're dealing with your wife or women in the situation, you can be happy or you can be right. You can't be both. You can be right or you can be happy.
Say yes or no.
And then he was like, and look at the smile on my face. You know, it's tough, man. It's tough, especially dealing with during COVID. Everyone's stuck at home. You know, people's true colors come out. You know, divorce rates are on the rise. Crazy, man.
Well, it's also tough to be, now, to be a dad and a business owner.
Fuck yeah,
I'm sure your business takes a lot of time away from your family like the rest of our businesses do, right?
Anything worth doing takes time for sure, and you have to find that balance. That work-life balance can be really difficult to find. I mean, I had to make drastic changes in my life. You know, I spent my entire career working in the back of kitchens, professional kitchens, and you know, you have to take a step back. And honestly, I've just heard it just comes from learning from so many stories. Like we were saying, you learn from the good and you learn from the bad. You know, you see people going down these paths of, you know, alcoholism, of, you know, physical abuse, mental abuse, things like that, you know, and you learn from it. Even when you see something awful, you know, you say, you know what, you know, I just remember, we're trying to close up soon, but I got to, one of my professors from Johnson and Wales, TJ Provo. TJ is a Newport resident, lives over on Sheffield Avenue. Badass. Professor at Johnson and Wales for like 35 years. I still keep in touch with him. But I just listened to him telling a story of, you know, one of the chefs from the school. They were in like a changing room for the teachers, and he just started crying. He's like, he's like, you know, he was older too, like, you know, in his 60s probably. So he's like, you know, I spent my whole life working in kitchens, and, you know, I never got to see my children grow up, and, you know, it's tough, man. And, you know, you hear some of these stories, and it's like, okay, well, how do I learn from this, you know? You have to have a balance. You have to have a balance.
Oh, man. How do you have a balance, man? That's fucking hard.
Well,
man.
I mean,
I have a lot of guilt with being a business owner, taking a lot of time away. It's hard.
It is. And you know what? If you want to spend more time with them, you will. And if it's hard to do everything at once. It's hard to, you know, run your business. But that's an understatement. But I mean, you know, if you want it, I'm a pretty firm believer in, like, if you want something to happen, you'll make it happen. And if it doesn't happen, it's because you didn't want it bad enough. And that sounds kind of like blunt, but I mean, you know, if you want to do something, you'll do it for sure.
Where do you guys live?
Portsmouth.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Nancy and I bought our house there about 4 years ago
Cool.
when I was still working at a revolving door. Yeah, it's a good spot, man. Portsmouth's great. School district.
Yeah. We live in Dartmouth.
You know. Oh, okay. All right. You
Sweet,
drive
man.
here every day?
Yeah, hike it in.
There you go.
Dude, well, thank you for taking the time to be over here,
For
man.
sure.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
Thanks for having me here. This is great.
maybe next time
Thanks
it
for
could be
letting
you
me
and Jay.
socialize with someone.
Yeah.
It's been 10 months.
I love it.
All right.
I hope you guys come by for coffees, dude.
Sounds good. I will.
Nice. All right, well, thanks, dude.
Cheers.